The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan, The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, featuring the ugliest babies the Wii could possibly render.
Shall we play a game?
You've got several things to do. You've got work, kids in school. What do you do when it's all over?
How do you hand something from one player to another?
Dark soul light. Turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with the new clan.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan, the video game podcast that loves Zelda games. I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
I am Joe.
I'm Zach.
I'm A4, and this time I didn't cry. I howled at the moon to let out my inner beast, my inner wolf child, because of this game.
Yeah.
Did you do it out of tune?
The best part, real quick, the best part is like most of those songs that the wolf howl. Most of the wolf howl songs in that game are just songs from Ocarina of Time, so you're just hearing them getting butchered by a fucking furry.
By a fucking wolf.
Yeah.
Joe just gets transferred real quick.
To be fair, that is what a dog sounds like when it howls when you're just playing music or whatever. So I mean, it's pretty accurate.
Nah, I listened to Otherworld from FF10. I know what dogs sound like when they sing.
That's not a dog. That's Slayer.
That's Kerry King's dog.
I saw so
Credited
many
for the
videos
lyrics.
making fun of Kerry King's new band.
I didn't listen to the single, but it must have been so bad that the other guys at Slayer were like, dude,
Just come on
let's just
back.
get back
Let's just
together.
do another tour.
Come on back, buddy.
That was funny that he like has a new
Come on
single
back,
out, and then like
Faye.
immediately it's like Slayer's reuniting, and it's just like, what happened to this other thing? All right, whatever, fuck it.
But it's
Oh,
like,
it really
I guess
sucks.
He released it and he went to him. He's like, I will do another one if you don't go touring. I swear to God. And they're just like, we'll tour. We'll do two. We'll do two festivals.
I guess he is touring with his band, and they are coming to a show that I am thinking about going to.
What show are you
'cause
thinking about
it's-
going to?
I believe it's Lamb of God yet again.
Oh.
And I think it's Lamb of God. The guys who were in Game of Thrones. What the fuck is their name? They're the guys who did the.
Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran.
No, not Ed Sheeran.
The Ed Sheeran band.
The other guy. The other guys. Mastodon. Mastodon.
Oh, I didn't
and
know they were
then
Game of
Kerry
Thrones.
King's band.
Yeah, they were an episode. I forgot about
Yeah, they just look like they belong there because they're with the wildlings. So it's just Mastodon.
That's
there.
awesome.
Yeah,
Red Gun
they
and
didn't
Mastodon
dress
is a
up.
fucking.
They just asked them.
That's a good ass lineup, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen Lamb of God like 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
But I'm guessing you haven't seen Mastodon.
I don't think I've seen. No, I haven't seen Mastodon. No.
Wasn't Mastodon here like last summer with
I think so.
someone? I'm pretty sure they were here with Lorna Shore last year.
Oh, that's not a bad lineup either. I feel like Schweiss would hate Lorna Shore, though.
They doesn't
Yeah,
like screaming, so like
it sounds
makes
like something
sense.
I would hate.
Yeah.
I don't really like Mastodon that much either, honestly.
Oh, man, they're
but-
fun.
They're
I mean, yeah,
fun.
they made the Aqua Teen Hunger Force intro. That
Yeah,
was
but it's like it's
Mastodon,
good,
so-
like it's good, like stoner sludge metal. It's good stuff.
Yeah, there's worse. For
making
sure.
words up.
Yeah. So before we get into this review of the game, that I actually dubbed it.
Can you remember?
Yeah, you okay?
It was
buddy?
what's the dad of the Kardashians? What's
Bruce Jenner, or Caitlyn Jenner.
no? It was Caitlyn Jenner and the Fukushima Five. That's what I called it because I took a screenshot of the one village guy that I wasn't sure if it was a dude until about 40 hours into the game, and he was with all the kids.
Are you talking about the Native American guy?
Yeah, and I was like, he kind of looks like a really ugly chick. And then I was like, oh shit, and then it's like, and then the kids are all like fucked up looking, and so that's the name of the game. I
don't remember what that
The
guy's...
kids are fucking horrifying.
I don't remember what that guy's name is, that character who like takes care of the kids in Kakariko, but he looks like Michelle Rodriguez. So for people who haven't played the game,
I think he looks like Tyler Perry. Or not Tyler Perry.
Steven Tyler.
The fuck?
Steven Tyler, yes.
Okay. That was
a Tyler.
That's not even
Tyler in there. Yeah.
Was I right though?
No.
That was it Impa in this game, or whoever the chick is that runs the bar in Hyrule Village? That she looks like Robin Quivers.
Dude.
This old racist
She's wrong.
Schweiss. Everybody looks like Tyler Perry to him.
Yeah. Everyone looks like that's a pretty good looking black dude.
It was like, yeah, but you weren't even a white person.
Yeah. Yeah, Tyler Perry, not a weird looking person. He just looks like a normal dude. So
anyway, you dubbed it Caitlyn Jenner in the Fukushima 5. Zach dubbed it Twilight Yiffing Princess, which
Oh, it was Legend of Zelda Yiffing Princess. There's no Twilight.
we had to
Still don't know what that means.
Well, Joe doesn't know what yiffing means. Joe, yiffing is the affectionate term that furries use for having sex, based on the sound that dogs make when they, yiff, yiff, yiff. So that's that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what that means.
come on. Are you telling me when you're fucking your dog, you never got it to make that sound, Joe?
No, it's always like,
And ladies and gentlemen, that's why Joe is not allowed to go to the ASPCA. We should make like mugs. We should make mugs or shirts with Joe's face and be like, "Don't let this man near your dog." And then just not.
Oh fuck, dude! I got a dog story for you.
oh no,
I knew it.
It's oddly enough not sexual, but
oh,
You
we
tricked
can
us.
save it till the
Okay.
end if I can remember it. What were you about to say, Schweiss? About this? You were like before we
get into that, I do have a couple things I want to touch on real quick.
And it's not a dog.
No, not this time.
I think.
The theft of our equipment. I've been meaning to bring this up for months. I found out who it was, so I got a court summons that I haven't turned in yet. They didn't have like a due date though, so I don't know. And I kind of want to like represent. I want to show up and like testify and make like a huge, like a really bloated speech.
Wait, let me know so I can see if I need to bring, like, if I can get off work. I'll come in a suit. I'll just come in and sit in the
I'm just picturing Schweiss as like an Ace Attorney witness, like with all the exaggerated fucking animations.
Dude, I want him to be like Foghorn Leghorn. So you see. They stole it from my house and just like
walk in,
let it go.
Walk into the courthouse wearing like suspenders and carrying a mint julep, and it's like, you're not the lawyer here. I'm just a simple country podcaster, and where I come from.
Yeah.
Do it.
But so I got the name of the guy, and so I was
Dequan Shashanista.
Yeah, no, I didn't memorize his name, but I looked it up on Facebook, and I was like, oh, that guy looks kind of familiar. That's weird. And then I was like, oh, he's in a relationship with this person. Oh, and then I clicked on that, and I was like, oh, she looks really familiar too, because I paid her a shitload of money to not finish cleaning my house. Oh, so weird.
Oh, you were right.
I fucking knew it. I knew it was those scum. They looked like criminals. I knew it. If there's one thing I hate more than homeless people, it's reformed criminals cleaning people's houses. That's number 2 now. It's not number 1. But...
So she fucking lied to your face, like on the phone to your face, like straight up, and was like, "You're like they stole stuff." She's like, "No, they did. They wouldn't do that." And you're just like,
"Yeah, well, I mean, that was the business owner." But yeah, I was like, come on, these people, they looked like they would have. But yeah, so I followed the strawberry milk, and it led to exactly who spilled it.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait. Was it strawberry milk or was it grape milk?
It was strawberry. Yeah. No,
was
like a
it
ginger,
strawberry
dude.
milk or was it Colt
Or the
45?
horchata.
Yeah. No, not horchata. No.
Dude, I did not think that was it. Like, all things led to not them for me, but wow.
If anything,
Wow.
I figured it was.
It's honestly though, it's a good thing Joe didn't play Danganronpa like me and Schweiss had to, because he would have not solved the case. So
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, I accept defeat on that one.
Accept
accept it.
defeat.
Yeah. So I found that out, and then yeah. So it's gonna be a while. So by the time the shows end, we should have our stuff back. So that'll be nice. I'll throw it in a box in the corner, and I'll just like every once in a while I'll come down and like put my thumbs through my belt loop and my pants and be like,
God.
hell yeah.
I
And then
think
just
what you should
fucking
know,
leave it to
should,
collect dust.
No, you should get a like a coffee table, like a glass one, like that has like a little like inner side. Put it inside and put like Exhibit A or whatever, like the exhibit they call it, with like a little full thing, and just have it in like your dining room or something, just sitting there.
Yeah. The other reason why I thought it was them though was because they went through my wallet. I don't know if I told you this part.
No.
Yeah, you did
But,
tell us that part.
They gave me
Nobody
my
knows that.
wallet back, and like all of my cards were shoved into the billfold area.
Yeah,
Like all.
and you
of
said
them,
you were
like, they
missing
had gone
cash
through.
from you too.
No, I don't carry cash. Not really. So
Okay.
I did nothing was
remember the
missing, but I
billfold
was
thing.
like, why would they do that?
Damn.
And then the suspicions mounted, and then it was all confirmed. One
And the
day.
strawberry milk had been spilt.
Yeah, you cannot cry over spilled milk, but you certainly can prosecute.
So what's the name of the house cleaning company?
Yeah, do we need to, like,
Honestly, I
warn
don't even remember anymore.
Okay. So forgiving.
But I was so mad. No, I was so mad because like
definitely will not steal your shit house cleaning services.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you will look like when you do a Google review or a Yelp review, you will look like the person who's just straight out lying because you hate them. You're gonna be like, they came
Yeah.
in, they stole my shit, then they denied that they were the ones to do it, and then we found out months later was in fact them.
Yeah.
And you have to do a picture, like
The whole story.
in the review though. You have to put a picture of like you and the judge, like just so
Yeah.
people know you're telling the truth, you know, like so it's like not a lie.
Dude, we should get KSL or the local Fox affiliate to just like, you gotta give them the story.
We gotta call Gephardt,
It's
bro.
like next time you think about think twice
You know what?
before hiring a cleaning crew.
If you're
when
hiring a
moving
cleaning
out.
crew,
you fucking called Tucker Carlson. He went and he needs a win after talking to Putin. So you called Tucker Carlson and you have him interview these people because I
we
want to see that
talked to
episode.
we talked to a podcaster for a niche video game series called Final Fantasy who had his mixer stolen by people cleaning his house. What's going
Do you
on?
play
here?
video games? I don't. Sounds gay.
Dude, I knew it was them because they fucking put the cards in the billfold and they fucking like strawberry milk, dude. Strawberry milk.
Yeah.
This man, lactose intolerant, mildly racist. Who's to say?
Yeah. Exactly. So that was a good win. I won months ago, and then I haven't gloated since. Although my tools are still gone, I don't really have a way to get those back. And that really sucks because I had just barely
You can
bought.
probably
like,
go to any job site in the Springville area, and you'll probably find your tools there.
Yeah. Well, I don't have like a particular brand, so it's just a bunch of shit.
Just a bunch of random stuff, yeah.
But I had just got these really nice like crescent wrenches, man. Like it was like a nice set, 3 different sizes. Like they had the little rubber handle
Whoa,
on it.
slow down. You're making me hard.
Yeah, I know. The no slip handle, and it was legit.
Oh, dude, you gotta
Crescent
slow
brand.
down. I was too busy edging to Midna before this fucking thing, so I'm ready to burst.
A4's Goonin.
Yeah. The other story I had real quick. Like I said earlier, the only thing I hate more than reform criminals criming again on my shit is the homeless. So I was going to lunch at work, right? And we have like covered parking, and it's sort of close to the building. It's quasi secure, like you could just walk in. But there's like you have to badge in to drive a car in there. And I walk out, I'm looking at my phone, I look up, there's a guy like at the very end of this like he's like 40 feet away from me, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just going through here," and then he like opens up this gate, this door gate thing. It's like it's like both. It's a chain link door attached to the fence, and he opens it, and then this alarm goes off for like 2 seconds. It's like just like, and then it shuts off. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was thinking, like, is this like a new driver or some dumbass or something? And I was like, whatever. So I go and I get my Burger King because I've been eating lately. Burger King's like right there.
Oh.
And I kind of trust him, although after the last time I don't anymore. So they're back to normal. Yeah, don't do it. When you give me a super wet, spicy sandwich and you don't give me any napkins, you're a fucking asshole. Like, that shit was crazy, and I had to walk in like just
with his
covered,
fucking elbows. He's like, I don't know what to do.
just fucking
What up,
covered
boss?
in sauce. Yeah,
I'm like, why is your ID badge? That's spicy.
yeah.
Mango habanero.
So,
It's like licks it. Like,
Are you
the
bleeding?
so anyway, I bought this PlayStation 1. I actually have it down here. It's a
PlayStation 1. We know what a PlayStation 1 is.
Yeah,
but
we can believe you. No, go,
If you look
The
at
guy who runs the Final Fantasy podcast has a PlayStation 1. Perish the thought.
it's a PS1 Slim.
Oh, I had one of those growing up. Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
The screen attachment to it.
Nice.
And so I've been playing Xenogears on my lunch break, which really is a lunch and one of my breaks combined, because Xenogears is one of those games that doesn't like to let you save very often. So I kind of have to have a big block of time.
Please tell me you
so I
bring that fucking
combine.
thing in the bathroom with you.
No, I bring it in my car. I can actually connect it to my car charger.
No shit.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's fucking
This is
sweet,
what
dude.
the founding fathers died for. You playing your PlayStation in your lunch break.
yeah, while you're on
Yeah.
cruise control on the freeway.
That doesn't work very well. That's not safe. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
'cause
doesn't.
you gotta,
It
like,
seems.
you'd have to like hook your fingers under like the steering wheel and play your controller like that, and just try to like that would be the
Oh, that
hardest
you
part.
know that might actually work, and then just put the screen like up in the dash. Like, with the
Listen,
speedometer.
I haven't gotten into 3-act car crashes for nothing. I know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I've never gotten a car crash. I don't want that.
It's not safe to do this, by the way. I tried.
Yeah, no.
But, I mean, an RPG is probably less of an issue, but
If there's
I don't know.
one thing you can take away from this podcast, it's don't play Xenogears and drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can drink and drive. That's okay.
Yeah.
Do not.
yeah, none of us will say a word about that.
Honestly, drinking
No.
probably makes you better at driving. They just don't want you to believe that.
It's like being high. It makes you a better driver too.
Yeah.
So
Sorry. People listening to the podcast version just missed Joe's like audible like look of disdain like away from the camera with like just smacking his lips just
Yeah.
like, okay.
Like he
It wasn't a look of disdain. I got things.
He wanted to say something, but he knows that me and A4 are not teachable people. He knows.
yeah,
We ran. So when I was in Mexico,
Oh no.
we ran across a car wreck over the cliffs. Like we were near the bottom. It wasn't like it was like 100 feet up from the river. And there was just a car down there, and we thought we had come across like a wreck, like a recent one. And I was ready. I was like, "Am I about to see a dead body?" That's what I had to like mentally prepare for before looking over the edge. And thank God that was not the case. It was a drunk driver who was on the road, and he had just wrecked his car, had lived, and then him and like another guy were just scraping what they could out of the car from the ravine because they couldn't get the whole car out of there.
Damn.
Dude, that's fucking
So-
wild.
It was like, yeah, I was drunk.
Well, I
should've
think
put
not
that in the
everyone
movie.
is a good drunk driver.
Well, no, see, that's the thing about drunk driving is that it does being drunk does make you better at driving, but you have to believe in it. It's like flying in Peter Pan and Neverland. Like you have to believe you can do it and think happy thoughts, and only then can you harness the latent power of the one and control the
fucking
road.
fly out the windshield like I can fly. It's right into the ground.
yeah. So anyway, I get my Burger King. I plug in as I'm waiting for my food. I plug in the old PS1 and like get the Xenogears fired up. and ready to go because I want to pull in, eat my food and then play my game. Yeah. So as I'm doing that, I'm thinking about that guy again, and I was like, man, is that like a homeless guy or something like that? Am I gonna have to let him out of there? And
no, you keep him in that cage.
Yeah, I get my food, and then I pull up and I come around the corner to go to my parking spot, which is basically right in front of this gate. And I see the guy, he's like pushed up against the fence, like waving at me, trying to get my my fucking attention. And then I look at him, I make eye contact, and then I like turn into a stall on the opposite side, and I just fucking park and enjoy my meal for like 20 minutes, play my game. I play my game. I'm like,
what's wrong with you?
I was like, nah, I'm gonna eat, dude.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, dude,
I ate my meal. I was like 30 minutes, and then I like got to a save point in Xenogears, saved, and then went a couple more minutes, and then I was like, you know what? I should probably let this guy out of there. And I turn up to the left, and this guy's like hobbling, like he's fucking like hobbling away, and he keeps like reaching down and like fucking with his ankle, and he like, I don't know what he did to get out of there, but he like fucked his fucking foot up, dude. Like,
Twice, what the fuck? That was like Twice. That's evil, dude.
Not all heroes wear capes.
That is not okay.
Sometimes heroes eat Burger King and play Xenogears in their car.
Schweiss, I hope one day you get stuck behind something and someone doesn't let you out because they want to finish their fucking meal. You fucking dick.
And it's going to be one of the times when Schweiss hasn't eaten and he's got a bit of a tummy still, though. And he's just going to try to climb and he's just going to fall down.
Yeah, it was, I don't know how well, the thing is, like, the gap, there was like a gap because it's one of those ones that rolls away as well. And like, I was like, there's a gap there where that dude probably should have been able to fit through. So I don't know if he like tried that and like twisted his ankle or some shit, but like, yeah, he just kind of like hobbled out of the structure, like muttering to himself. I mean, he was trespassing, to be fair. So like, not supposed to be there. But I honestly, I thought it was...
This homeless guy's going to remember your face, bro. You're going to like just get shanked one day. It was like outside of your car.
Yeah, I told one of the other bosses about it, and he thought it was fucking hilarious. And then he's like, well, if we don't have our yard driver tonight, we'll know why. Like, this fucking guy, he looked at me dead in the eyes, and he just pulled into another spot and left me there. In the fucking middle of winter.
I imagine this guy sneaks up on
Jesus
you.
Christ.
He takes like a shiv and stabs you through the chest, and you just see like red liquid coming out. But then what he didn't realize is you had a wet, spicy sandwich in your breast pocket, and he stabbed that, and it saved your life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
what I think would be poetic is he stabs you, but you have a chance to be saved. Like, it's not like you're bleeding, but you can be saved. And he drags you into that same place and closes it. And then just like walks away.
Well, I have a badge, so I can actually get out. But I'm actually allowed to be back there.
Problem solved.
Yeah, but this is why when Craig asked, like, was it even worse than the last one? I said yes, because it was definitely more evil than the last one. The last one, I may in fact have like truly destroyed somebody. But this one was all intended. Like,
what if someone had done that to your kid?
I mean,
just want you to think about that.
The first thing I would have told him was like, well, what were you doing over there? Like, you weren't supposed to be there. Why were you over there? But yeah, it was pretty good. I thought it was fucking funny. Just like, no, I'm not gonna let you out of there. It wasn't snowing or anything. I mean, he was fine. Other than whatever happened to his foot, he was fine.
Yeah, he was fine, except for he was limping away.
I mean, look, I don't know if it was there before. He was making it seem like it wasn't because he was like tending to it as if it was fresh. But I could have been high off his ass too. I have no idea. But I had a stomach full of BK and a heart full of Xenogears, so I was good to go. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do when I run for office. It's like, I don't care about crime. I just hate homeless. Like, I don't want to see another goddamn homeless person in this town. Rob the store, whatever.
If you get voted in, there's no way I can stay in this state.
We're going further than
there's no way.
We're going
You got
further
a
than
home.
anti-homeless benches. We're going anti-homeless sidewalks. The sidewalks are going to be covered in tiny little spikes, so you can't possibly lay down on them.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it was good.
That in Elko, they have like allotted, so they have an allotted amount of land that the homeless people can get on, and they let them build like contraptions, like houses and stuff. And then like every couple of months, they just go and fucking bulldoze it down like cunts. Like I don't.
That area is called the Exiled Lands, and every time they bulldoze it, it's called the Purge.
When I had to go do some work over there, and the homeless camp is right next to like my place of work, and
Yeah.
I tell you what, dude, some like the bikes and stuff, like they're like bringing bike. I don't know where they got tools, but they're bringing bikes around. You look behind the bike, and they have this like fucking broke down cart that like is like it was. You could tell it was a car at one point in time, but it has been made into this like fucking Mad Max fucking like hauler on the back, and I don't know how they do it, dude. The ingenuity in Elko is nuts.
I know where they got
isn't
tools. They got tools from Schweiss.
Yeah.
It was dude. Well, like one of the houses, they're like, oh, like someone did like the job, and like I thought he was kidding, and he was like, oh, it's like the mayor of the homeless people, and I'm like, it's kind of fucked up. But this dude had like a 2-tier, like almost like a house, like it was nuts because it had like wood, like a plank. The like was like the second tier, and I don't know how they set it up on the inside, but it was like tarps and a tent and like all this stuff, and it was like that was like a 2-story fucking. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it.
He's their king.
Yeah, no, the homeless have like
wild.
a weird like royal hierarchy type system. Watch the movie Under the Silver Lake, and you'll see.
And then I was like super like I was like, dude, this is nuts. They can like they just like figure all this stuff out. And I was like, maybe there's something more to these guys here at Elko. And then I saw a woman shove rocks up her ass, and I was like, no.
Like, no, this town's just terrible.
I was like, oh, I don't want to be here any longer than I
Yeah,
have.
Elko is
Fucking
awful.
blows.
Elko is a horrible place.
My favorite part about Elko is because they do like
Leaving?
trucks, like semi trucks. Yeah, no, like when I was there, we were sitting there. Like this guy had parked his truck to get repairs, and the night over the night, the next they parked his truck outside because they fixed it. 'Cause that's what you do. And he was gonna pick it up. He goes to pick his truck up at like 3 a.m, turns it on, does not start, and he's like freaking out. What the hell happened to my truck? Whatever. What happened? They look at it like, what are you talking about? Like, we fixed what you wanted to, and it wasn't an electrical issue, so that's really weird. And he's like freaking out. I was like, I don't know. Well, I look at the security camera, and this fucking semi truck like pulls up. You see him go to the door of like the store, goes like this, sees that it's not open, goes like this, like you see him sitting from the back, be like, goes around, and then you see him sit in his car, and then they're like this, like watching it to see. His truck, gets out of his truck, pops this other car's hood, takes his tools out, takes the hose he needed from this truck, fucking closes the hood, latches it, installs it into his truck, and then drives off.
I mean, if he would have left like a 20 in the windshield wiper, I would have been fine with that.
No, that's not how that's not how
He's like,
hoses
look, man,
hoses are
I gotta
fucking
go.
expensive, dude. I'll tell you what, sorry, we're talking about OE hoses for exhausts, radiator, shit like that, like coolant, are like OE, so like specific like company, right? Like Kenworth, Packard, Peterbilt, whatever, are fucking like upwards of like $80 to like $300 for fucking. It's nuts.
Yeesh.
Dang.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts. Just casually jacked $100 and $150 a hose and drove off into the night. It's fucking wild. It's wild, dude.
It's called DIY.
It's fuck DIY.
So we know Schweiss has been playing Xenogears.
Yeah, I've been playing Xenogears and eating an abnormal amount of Burger King. So it's abnormal because you shouldn't really eat it at all because it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
You know, when you got Arby's and McDonald's as the other two choices, you don't have much going.
Yeah.
I like the child trying to grab Caleb's mic when he's trying to talk. It's pretty funny.
Oh, the
kid
shadows
just
made it
doesn't-
gay. Okay, real quick. The shadows made him look black, and I was like, "Did you adopt a child?"
Yeah.
Like I was like, "Good for you."
No,
man.
we got the holy light
Yeah.
above Schweiss's head. It's the Father, the Son, and there's the Holy Ghost to the right of Schweiss.
And it's just
Yeah, we just-
descendant of Cain Child, bro.
We just call him Boy. That's all we do. I ran out of names. Got too many. No more male names left, so we just went with Boy. But anyway, Zelda, or no, what's everyone been playing lately? What do you got?
What I was trying to segue to, yeah. But you've got a naked child running around, and Zach's doing something else. So Joe, what have you been playing?
He asked you first. He said, "What have you been playing A for?"
Well, I've been playing a little game called Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. That's a cool game. That's a cool little game so far. I am like maybe 4 hours in.
A little 90-hour game.
You know, you say 90, but he said 40, and I'm willing to believe it because at least based on like one of the walkthroughs I saw, I'm already like 5 or 6 parts in out of like 20 something, and I'm only like 4 hours in. Granted, I'm sure a lot more of the time is going to be spent grinding, but yeah.
In what game? Nocturne?
Yeah, Nocturne. I just got to the Ginza like underpass or whatever.
Oh, nice with the demons in it.
Well, there's demons everywhere in this game, but no.
That's the one with. Yeah, that's a hub that I used for a long time. So like anytime I'd need to like teleport somewhere to quickly heal, I'd use that one.
Okay, I just got done talking to Nyx, the lady with like the super low cut dress in the bar, and then Loki's like, "Don't go in my room, dude," and she's like, "Oh, you got to go here to get in the Astro Dome so you can take out the bad guy or whatever," which I feel like is not nearly going to be the end of the game, but
no,
cool game so far. It's a weird game for this series because like I'm used to playing the Persona games, and with the Persona games, they have like the compendium. They really kind of want you to like catalog all of the personas, which is the same set of demons from this game. So this game seems more focused on like, if you got to sacrifice a few demons to make a new one, then say goodbye to those old ones. Fuck it, I guess. Just keep.
I got rid of all my hot demons, and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
Fuck it for sure. You gotta. Yeah, dude, mine were like mongoloids. They were terrifying. Like I had a dude with no arms. I had fucking like a fucking turtle with a snake head.
Yeah.
Like,
So one of the things.
I had some hot chicks for a while, but I got rid of them. Like Zach
One
said.
of the things that I fucking hated is I went to like put someone together, and it failed,
Yeah, that can happen.
and it gave me something that was
What?
way fucking worse.
Yeah, that can
and,
happen in Persona 2.
Like level 2, and I was like, "Fuck this game, dude!" I was so mad. Like I was supposed to have like a level like. It was like
man.
17 or 18 creature, and I was like, hell yeah. Then I was like, oh, something fucked up happened, and I had a 2, and I was like, fuck this game.
Yeah, the
Are
fusion
you
has a
kidding
chance
me?
of failing. The guy tells you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I'm glad it didn't happen to you.
Well,
Yeah.
it probably will.
Same.
Because there's also the thing where like you ingest the
Hey,
Magat.
Twice beat the game. He doesn't have to play it anymore.
Well, no, but I mean,
Yeah,
like
it'll literally never happen to me.
well, okay, it didn't happen to Schweiss. It might happen to me. It might still happen to you. But like the game's kind of
I
full
was
of shit
so
like
mad.
that. Like you ingest the Magatma to get your different like abilities or whatever, and every time you level up, it's like the Magatma is like wrecking your insides. What do you want to do? And it's like let it go, and then either it's like, oh, you got fully healed, or it's like you're fucking poisoned. Fuck you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wondered if something like that could happen because I've only ever been healed.
I
I've
got
never
poisoned
had
like
a
twice in
negative-
a row.
I've never had a negative. I never had a negative side effect yet from the Magat.
It stunned me like 8 straight times. It would just stun.
It might depend on which one you have too, because there's like right now I have one that like basically makes it so like status effects relating to mine, so like sleep, charm. I'm nullified. I don't get those. So
Yeah, I forgot that those gave you abilities, so I just found a good one like early on, and then I just stuck with it. Mm-hmm. And then later, when I bought another good one, I traded it, and I was like, "Oh shit! Oh yeah, I remember being like, oh, this is like FF9. You use it and you get new abilities." And then that thought just fucking.
I didn't.
It flew away.
I didn't know that. I've had the one from the beginning of the game. So long.
Yeah, trade them because it'll tell you this one specializes in blah blah blah, and it's like, oh, so this one's if I'm like, man, I wish I could do blank. Yeah, shove that one down your fat throat, and then you'll be able to do it.
So I'm with A4. So you're trying to sneak into that room, right? Is that what you said? You walked into that bar.
Well, I'm trying to get into like the Astrodome or whatever the fuck where they're holding the.
Right, but you're like trying to like where like those guys meet, right?
Yeah, so I have to go in like this underpass nearby.
Yeah,
to,
so
like,
I'm in that Astrodome right now. That's where I am at.
Yeah, I'm like maybe
I stopped playing for Twilight Princess. So.
But I'm enjoying it so far. The aesthetics are really cool. Just like I wasn't sure how much I was gonna like it compared to Persona, just because Persona's a lot more like contemporary, and this one's a lot more esoteric, and it has a lot of the old Shin Megami Tensei art style where everyone kind of has the same like face syndrome, where they all have like that like black upper lip, and they all have like the same like droopy eyes with like the eyelashes. But there's a lot of cool looking designs in this game, and the music's good, of course, because
there's a lot of different demon dicks for sure.
I mean, I'm used to seeing all the demons anyway, because again, they're all the ones in Persona 5. So, and I mean,
the little demon peen, the actual cock monster. I only fought once, but it's a hard fight,
dude. I went to the one area and they have the incubus there, and he was just like, "Oh man, that what's her nuts? She's a real hottie." And I'm like, this is so Schweiss coded because he's got like a fucking goatee and he's just like sitting there like, yes, like a big horn.
Like his little barbed dick.
Yeah. I took a screenshot of it and I wanted to send it to the group and be like, this is fucking Schweiss.
Yeah. She's hot.
The lady of the fountain. Yeah.
Well, there's also I don't know if he's in this game or not, but there is also a demon in Persona that's like, he's just a dude he's like a demon sitting on a toilet with like a big beard. And I'm like, yeah, this is
I didn't find that.
I don't know if it's in this game or not. But yeah, this game's cool so far. Enjoying playing it a lot. Just kind of loading it up on the Steam Deck when I'm in bed.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, other than that, just kind of fucking around with random shit like Donkey Kong 64, Pokemon, here and there. A little more Rocksmith. So it's about
there you go. I have been doing Xenogears. Basically just that. Like, I think I played a little bit of Cuphead too because Jace wanted me to play with him, and they were failing, and I was like, give me that. Give me that fucking controller.
And then you were failing and you were like, give it 100 more tries, I'll get it.
Yeah, watch, just wait, I'll get it.
I'll beat this fucking dragon.
Yeah, it's weird because like some of those levels I'm really good at, but then other ones I'm like, okay, I've died like 12 times, I'm no longer good at this game. But each time I beat it, it takes me way less time. Mm-hmm. So the last time, I think it was like maybe 12 or 15 hours to do everything. Like I got all the coins, and I didn't like get A+ on all the missions or anything on hard, but I got like all of the baseline, all the items, all the guns, all the money, all the running guns done, like everything. And it was like under 20 hours. But the first time I played that fucking game, dude, I swear to God, it was like 55 hours. Like, no joke. I did the dragon for an 8-hour shift of my life.
Yeah,
like,
that's a hard one.
Straight up fucking 8 hours. And then when I did it the second time, it was barely a problem. I died like 3 times. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Each time I play this game, the average time will go down drastically because it's just not that fucking hard.
Did any of us get the DLC ever? Because I didn't.
I bought it and I played one level and I was like, dude, this is fucking crazy hard. And I played it like 8 times and was like, fuck this, dude. Like, why would I ever think that I could play a Cuphead DLC? Like, they already got the cunt game regular and they're like, oh, let's make downloadable content. Like, as they, rub their hands together maniacally, like, it'll be impossible. So it's hard. The design was really cool, but
given the nature of this game, that fucking DLC did take like 5 years to come out. So
yeah, it
had to animate all of it.
But those 2 games, that's really, I think, it since we last recorded. Maybe a little bit of Fortnite, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, because I
passed out and played Fortnite in a fugue state, I think.
Yeah. I got tired of the way Jace speaks now because of that game, so I uninstalled it on his PlayStation. And he doesn't know my password on mine, so he can't actually log into the other one.
Just screaming racial slurs or whatever?
Yeah. Well, no, he has gotten in trouble at school for saying certain things, but it was I can't remember what he said. Oh, he called a kid a monkey.
Oh my god.
Which
What?
look. Now
the wrong
look.
kid.
It was the wrong kid. There's not many that could be considered the wrong kid, but he said it because a bunch of other people were calling him that, and not like to be rude, like his friends. And so he just said, "Oh, he's just being a monkey," because he was going crazy. The kid was being like, and like we used to tell Jace that he was a monkey too.
Oh, okay.
Like that was like a nickname we gave him, and I was like, okay. But then the principal is like, oh, this is racially motivated. It's like, why would you tell him that? Because now if he wants to be like evil, he knows like this is the thing. It's like, if you just fucking don't worry about it and just don't say, hey, just don't call people names and just leave it. Like now it's not something to pull out when you got to really own somebody.
If that kid's
not
trying to get through a fence, and then Jace is like a fucking monkey, and then he goes and parks somewhere else and meets his Burger King.
Yeah, well, what's he gonna be? I have to take all of that on myself so that they don't have to do it all. I'm like the Messiah.
Like the
of,
Jesus Christ. Okay.
I'm like the Christ of
Okay.
of
You just
homeless
absorb
people.
all of the racism into yourself.
Yeah, and the hatred of the homeless.
You're like, okay, what's the fucking thing from Final Fantasy 15 where they suck up the Star Scourge or whatever? Like themselves.
Yeah.
That's you with racism. It's like, I'll heal you. I'll take the burden of your racism from you.
Yeah, dude, that would be an awesome DLC with Arden, where like it's like everything he says just has to be like Barrett from FF7. It's just like fucking shift plus the number line at the top of the keyboard, yeah, but yeah, no. So yeah, he did get in trouble for that, but you know,
We don't need to fight
unrelated.
now, Prince. You fucking.
yeah. Fruity Prince Noctis. Where'd you get that haircut, huh? Yeah. But no,
Well, I'm glad to
good.
see the mask doesn't fall too far from the burning crucifix.
yeah. Yeah, otherwise you can't hide your face in time before they see you.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Cuphead was fun. I'm enjoying my time in I'm enjoying most of my time in Xenogears. There's a few parts in the game that have made me like like the fact that people say this is the greatest game ever. I'm like, dude, no. No. You can't have this in the greatest game ever. I'm sorry. You can't have this.
I'm sorry.
area and
You uninstall Fortnite, so I just picture Jay start to say those things to Cuphead, and then like you're like, hey, don't say that. And then you're playing Xenogears, and you're saying it to Xenogears, and he's like, what the fuck? I thought you told me I couldn't say that.
yeah, I said you couldn't say it. I know who to say it in front of. You do not. Like, we are not the same, boy.
Fucked up.
Yeah. But yeah, there's the platforming in Xenogears is dude, like
Oh my god.
you can't
Oh, dude.
whatever you're
The
thinking
Tower
right
of
now.
the Tower of Babel. I mean, it is basically God's punishment. Like he just was like, well, you set up a Tower of Babel. Now my job is to make you actually try to fucking use it.
Yeah, and now I have created a control scheme for swinging on a rope in said Tower of Babel. Good luck, asshole. Oh, and if you fall, you'll be conveniently swirled away to the very beginning of the entire fucking area, no matter where you fell from.
Is it like
Now,
Kingdom
I do
Hearts 1
think-
bad, or?
That sounds
Dude, it's
this
worse.
This is Xenogears, right?
Yeah.
Because that's such
Yeah.
a fucking Legend of Zelda temple thing to do too. It's like, oh, you fell. Good luck, and it just shoots you back in the front of the
Yeah, you fall and you're like, oh, still falling. Okay, now you're at the beginning.
Yeah.
And you're half dead. Like, oh, thanks. No, dude, that one's bad, but I think the Slot Canyon was worse for me, dude. Like, because like I wasn't running into those. First of all, I have no idea where to go. So like the first area, before I realized, oh, this game wants me to jump and run at the same time. Before I realized that, I'm stuck in the basin for like ever. And then I like find all the items. Then I figure out, oh, okay, I have to platform out of this in a fucking giant mech suit, which is dumb as hell, just stupid. And then the problem the game has is it plays kind of like a bad port sometimes, even though there is literally no port. It's the only version of the game that's ever existed on PS1. So like you'll get a random encounter and then it'll kind of just like you'll hear the disc like like the little eye move around on the disc to get ready for the random encounter. But during that time, you can run back and forth still at full speed, but you cannot jump. So I'll be at the edge of the other side of the ledge, and I'll like hit my sprint on and then hit the jump button, and I'll just fucking run off the ledge, and then I land and I'm in a random encounter, and I'm like, oh! And all of the progress that I just made is gone, dude. It's all gone, and I'm like, oh shit! And some of these are like, fuck, it's like so long to get back up there, and if you fuck up just a little bit, like you're gonna slide off the edge, and then but that happened over and fucking over again. And the only saving grace is that there's like a tarred robot in the area that like you'll come across, and he'll just heal you. Like he's like broken or something.
Well,
but he'll
the
like
game knows that they like fuck you over.
Well, then fix it then.
Well, they didn't. They didn't even give us a full game, so
that was probably the last thing they did. They're like, wait, I gotta do one more thing real fast. This section sucks, dude. I'm gonna put in a little robot who's really confused that'll just fucking heal you.
I don't know how the Tower of Babel wasn't worse for you, because the first room in the tower, because there's 3 sections. The first room, dude, I went to the bottom in the fucking lake like 1,000 times. It was like you can't get the camera quite right, and it was just like over it. There's still random battles, and I'm like, come on, just let me make the fucking jump. And then there's like this one thing with the I don't remember. It's like you're swinging from one chain to the other.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a hell! It's hell.
Yeah. You jump onto a chain, and then it gives you like a new control scheme that, as far as I know, it never uses again. It's like this little mini game. They're like, "Oh, isn't this fun?" And you're like, "No, this is terrible. I can't even tell if I'm doing it right." And then you got to like go move with the direction, until you get finally enough, what looks like enough, and it wasn't the first time, and I had to do it again, which is like really far along.
It's the volleyball
it's like the
thing from Crystal Chronicles, Crystal Bears, or like whatever the balance beam thing is.
Except but you didn't have to do that.
Yeah, except that this one's required.
No, this one reminds me more of that part in FF7 where you're climbing the disc to get out of Midgar, and you have to like jump on that little like swinging thing. Dude, I did that like it was like 100 times the first time I played that game. I was like, what? I don't understand. The timing is so terrible. But it's like that, but you have to actually make it swing back and forth, and it like has a whole little control scheme for me, and I'm like, oh. But yeah, that one was not as bad though. I fell down there probably like 15 times. And one of them I was really far along, and like I don't know how I fell, because I don't think there's a hole there. I just did. Like I was trying to like get the camera to show me, you know, my guy, and it wouldn't do it. And I like walked into this little hallway, and then suddenly I'm like not moving, and then I'm fucking falling in the water out of nowhere. And I was like, I think it just glitched, because the second time I went through there's no hole. It just fucking was like, that was too easy. Bring it back. But yeah, whoever thought of putting platforming in this game deserves to be shot, dude. Like, it's not good. It's fucking, it does not belong. And like, they didn't finish the game all the way, according to like the internet. And so like, I could tell that that's probably one of the rushed parts. That they didn't quite get it to where they wanted it to be. But
or maybe they did. Maybe they did, and they're just like, fuck these kids who are playing this game. Fuck them.
We had this conversation last night, but I think that it's like, where you can tell it's not finished is in like the sound design of it. Because there's just parts that are like totally silent, and there's things in there that are totally silent. Just like things that any other game would have put like a little sound to, like footsteps or something. It's just like, nope. And then there's like a lag between the battle system and the main area, and everything is slow and clunky, and that is part of like what makes the platforming insane, is that it's just like this super clunk going on. So yeah, there's definitely some issues.
But we'll get more into that soon on Ultima Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
So
soon o'clock on Ultimate.
Yeah.
What? Not right now. Oh.
no. What about you, Joe? What have you been playing?
I mean, this may surprise you, but between the last recording and now, I've played Xenogears.
That makes sense.
Yep. It's an old PS1 game. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Yeah, been gosh, where am I? I think I'm 39 hours in to the game. Took a break to go to Mexico, and while in Mexico, I played 2 or 3 hours. I'm not exactly sure of Bravely Default as well. A little bit of that. Dipped my toe in and then realized we weren't going to beat Xenogears on time, and there's no fucking way. So what's actually going to happen is we're going to play Xenogears, and then we're going to play FF7 Rebirth immediately after. And
Hell yeah.
that should line up just about right. Rebirth is coming out, God, on the 28th or 29th?
I think it's Friday. Yeah.
Okay.
Thursday
So
or Friday.
The 1st. Okay. Thursday is the 29th.
Yeah,
March
I thought it
1st is-
released like late February. So maybe it's tomorrow. What the fuck? I don't know what day. Fuck.
Anyway, it's this week.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming out this week, so I'll probably be 3 days behind the ball curve on that in order to beat Xenogears. Because I don't want to stop Xenogears right now. I want to. I'm so close to Disc 2, and Disc 2 is really short. So I'm kind of like, I'm itching.
Yeah, wasn't that like
I'm
where the
itching
game
for it.
kind of
Yeah.
shit the bed in terms of like being finished?
I mean, that's what
what we
people
hear.
say. People say they just like stopped. You know, they couldn't with the budget they had. They were overspending, and basically they had to like take out all the ambition out of the project and just try to finish up, like tie all the loose ends in the story.
Yeah.
So apparently it's like a lot of cutscenes in the second disc and not very much gameplay. I think there's like 5 dungeons or something. There's not much. Which is interesting. Like when I'm playing the game now, 39 hours in, it does seem like there would be a lot more of the story going on, because the game, I think it's actually one of the best things about it. It lets you slowly get to understand the world and slowly kind of get pulled in. And you do start with like a lot of mystery and you're not sure what's going on, but there is a central character and a central conflict, and it goes really hard 1 hour into the game. And then it kind of, the mystery of this, it's honestly pretty similar to FF7. There's a lot of elements that are like in there, like the character has like a faulty memory, and you're learning more and more about their past and the truth and the world and all the powers that be. And it is kind of like breadcrumbs, like pulling you along. It's one of the it's kind of, it's something in the best Final Fantasies that they do, and then it's doing that in this game in terms of its storytelling. And it's something that when I play a lot of JRPG games, they just forget. They forget how to tell a story, like complete. Like, and they'll have a game full of like 1,000 cutscenes, and they still like they forget the basic part of audience curiosity. And pulling you in with an emotional story. Yeah, no, Kingdom Hearts is definitely one of those examples.
Yeah.
By the
Kingdom
way.
Hearts introduces elements where they're like, "Ooh, what is this?" and then they like kind of just never explain.
I would say FF14 is another one where it's like, here's a bunch of shit, and it's just thrown at you. And so, like, yeah, maybe some people out there just like love lore and they love the world so much that like it doesn't like, but I can't, as a, I don't think that's the way that stories should necessarily be.
Yeah.
told.
Well, I mean,
But-
and you can have all that stuff, but if the main story isn't good enough, I don't care.
No, yeah,
It's
that's
like-
exactly the point. Like, for like me getting into like Lord of the Rings lore or something is because I love the story.
Yeah.
It's not because it's not, and the world is cool. And if I'm 11 years old and I see a lightsaber or something in Star Wars, then the world is cool enough that I can kind of follow down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But now, as an adult, it's stupid. I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. Like, this is dumb. So
Yeah, that's why I like the Game of Thrones books so much. Is like, it's one of the few things where I do I'll remember certain things. Like before they brought back the Hound, right? I was like, oh yeah, he's totally alive. Like he's this guy. There's a guy. They go into this village randomly, and this dude's got his face covered, and he's like super fucking jacked, and he's really pissy all the time. And he's alive. He's alive, and he's got a limp. He's here. And then it happens in the show, and I was like, I fucking knew it. But like, if that was FF14, like they did that in FF14. There was a character that came back, and I was like, I kind of remember that chick, the cat chick. But like, I don't remember what she did. I knew she betrayed us somehow and then got fucked for it, but doesn't matter, like I don't give a shit about the story. So like, I'm not going to remember this character or dig in or anything like that. But so that's what I always worry. Like, am I like retarded? When I come to these games and I'm like, I just don't remember stuff. Like, am I just like a big fucking idiot?
I feel
and
the
then
same
I realize,
way.
you know what? Yeah.
With certain things, like I'm like, I don't remember these characters, and it's like I'm not good with names and faces and stuff. So like, I'm not good at like remembering people. So I think that's part of it. But another part of it is just like it's just not made well, because there are games where I do remember the characters like super well and the events and the stories super well. But then you just have ones that are really bad, like 10 or 13, where it's just like, look at all this terminology and lore and data log shit we're throwing at you, and then the story's just like, oh, I don't care about these people. I just don't care.
Yeah, that is honestly the big. Oh, by the way, my film is coming out on the 29th in Orem, Utah, at the Sarah Shell as part of Zion's Indie Film Fest. Go see it. But that is, as a storyteller, like kind of the thing. And I guess, I mean, you've done a bit of writing A4, I assume, with your comic book stuff. A little bit. Like, and if you've ever been a writer's group or something like that, it really is, the thing is emotion and story and storytelling and how to get the audience pulled through. And there's a million little tricks to that people will tell you are like the answers to those things, but really it is like that's the core of it. Everything else is superficial. Like genre is super superficial in my mind. I've explained that a million times. But really it is like, do you care? Like, what's happening next? Are you curious as to what's happening next? Like, and that really is kind of like, that's the center of it. And it doesn't like all the other shit, like, ooh, that's a cool, like in a movie, like that's a cool shot. That was a visually intense cutscene or whatever. Like, all the visuals and all the world building stuff is secondary.
Yeah.
It's fucking, yeah. And
if you have a bunch of cool looking shit and the story sucks, then what you have is a Zack Snyder movie. It's like, look, I'm not watching Sucker Punch for the fucking story.
Yeah, I guess possibly. Possibly that's a good example. I'm not sure, but I haven't seen Sucker Punch. The trailer didn't pull me in too much.
Well,
but it is that. It is that. And then Xenogears is actually really good at having a mystery where you are like pulled along, and you're pulled along deliberately. So I'm interested to see how it ends, because I've heard things about this too. But yeah, I've been playing mostly Xenogears. Zach, what have you been playing?
Playing Twilight. Since the last time we recorded from Twilight Princess. Had to get that for the podcast. Played some Dream Cutter, just like an indie platformer that Switch released.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, and then a little bit of, because the music's freaking dope. And then a little bit of Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, because I got that. I wanted to throw it on, and I couldn't stare at a fucking actual TV. Because I had to play, I fucking hate the Wii. Can I just say that? I fucking hate the controllers. I was getting so pissed. Like,
oh, man.
Like, I was getting so mad because, like, the little bar was, like, there. Like, I was, like, pointing at the bar, and it just, like, wouldn't register half the time. So I don't know if it's just, like, old and it just wasn't doing it. I wiped it down.
Did you have it set up for the right orientation? Because there's, like, a menu selection where you set it to be above or below the TV. So
Oh
maybe-
fuck!
Yeah, you need to do that.
Why beat the game? It doesn't matter now. doesn't matter now.
yeah, if you have it like set to above TV and it's below your TV, you're gonna get some fucked up
It's
controls.
bad.
Fuck, I was getting pissed, bro. I fucking beat the game, but I was like,
I don't think
I'm
you could have
joking,
beat the
it's
game
a
with the
party.
wrong. I don't think that's even possible if you fucked that up.
so.
You know what the best part is too? The weird
I
one,
think
like,
he would have called us crying, being like, "What is happening?" I think that would have
I don't
happened
cry,
before.
Joe. I just nut up.
the best part of
No, but yeah, I was pissed. I was getting kind of mad.
the best part of the Wii remote is it just reads infrared points. So like either end of the sensor bar has like an infrared point on it, but like if you don't have a sensor bar, you could literally just set up 2 candles and it'll work as like a sensor bar because it's reading the infrared of the like the heat.
Why
the
didn't I
flame.
play this game like I'm Amish? What a fucking moron I am.
I mean, that's like a super like rudimentary way of doing it. But like if you ever looked at like a Wii sensor bar while it's on with like a digital camera, you'll see the infrared in like the camera screen.
I don't have that kind of autism, so I would never have done that.
I don't know.
I'm
It's just
glad
like
that you
it's just kind
figured
of
that out.
Look, the Wii is a very interesting console in that it's super casual and has a lot of shovelware, but like the way that the Wii remote works is kind of ingenious where it's just looking for those 2 dots, and like when you go to calibrate the Wii remote, you can like see it like sort of see
Yeah,
those
yeah,
dots over.
maybe I should have calibrated something, but I just went in balls, man. I just went in raw, I went in deep, and I just said, we're just gonna play this game, and probably should have
You
done
must
that.
have had a hell of a time trying to beat that Circus Freaks challenge with the claw shot. If your aiming was fucked up. Did you ever do the circus guy in Castletown, where he's like he's the cage with all the lights and you have to collect them?
No, I literally did not do that side mission. 'Cause
Okay.
Fuck that game. Yeah, sorry, man.
It's your game.
I know. No, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just said I was more.
I'm just saying,
focused
fuck
on-
that game. That's
Yeah.
all.
I meant, when I say fuck that game, I meant fuck that side game, not
Okay,
fuck Yiffing Princess. Just fuck.
got it.
Side.
Hey, did you play anything else?
Just those 3. No, just those 3.
All right. So the real question, the important question: has anyone beaten a game since last time?
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
What you got,
A4?
A4?
A4, yeah, what'd you beat?
I beat Mickey's Dangerous Chase.
A shit-eating grin on that. Fucking Jesus Christ.
I told you guys I got an analog pocket, right? It's like a high-end Game Boy recreation type thing.
I don't remember this.
All right. Well, basically, it's like a super high-end Game Boy thing, and like it has a screen resolution like 10 times the
Dude, that's cool.
resolution of the Game Boy. So like each individual pixel in here is like made to like accurately recreate what the screen looked like on the original Game Boy. So you can have it be like the green with all the ghosting, or you can have it be the pocket. It's got like the little lines between each pixel, or you can just have it be like, perfect resolution or whatever. But I was picking up
How
a
much
bunch of
was
old.
that?
It was like 200. It's pricey, but
I have a Game Boy Color. I'll just stick with my Game Boy Color.
the game. Look, it's like a
It's
luxury
cool.
thing. But
It's,
yeah,
it's fucking badass.
I was picking up a lot of Game Boy games that I didn't have anymore that I used to have. So I picked up Mickey's Dangerous Chase, which was basically the first game I ever had as a kid. And it's just like a little Capcom Mickey Mouse platformer. But I finally beat it for the first time in 25 years. So that's cool. So yeah, I beat Mickey's Dangerous Chase, and I also beat Pokemon Snap because that's a fucking hour-long game, basically. So yeah.
All right. Pokemon Snap. All right. What about you, Zach? What do you got?
So I beat Twilight Princess.
All right. Anything else?
Beat the TP, and I beat Dream Cutter.
All right.
It was very short.
Okay.
Joe wouldn't like it because it's platformer.
That doesn't-
and Joe
I
does
mean,
not
it
like
also does-
platformers.
It also doesn't sound like Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne.
It's
I don't know.
close.
Maybe
There's
I misheard
demons. Now there's demons.
Yeah,
there's
we
not
just-
TVs, but there's boobs, and I found that out. And I was like, "Oh, this is a Switch game. What the
But
fuck?"
is there Latin? Because that's a key point of the Shin Megami Tensei franchise.
Yeah. I was playing that in between getting off of playing Twilight Princess and being like, "Oh, I need a little not Wii time. That isn't gonna piss me off."
Hey, the good news
And
is
then
that Shin
that game
Megami
pissed
Tensei
me off.
3 isn't on the Wii, so
That game pissed me off too, but I like it. Yeah.
It's like the good kind of hurt, Shin Megami Tensei.
I mean, like, because you're getting close to a boss. Where
Matador.
you're at. Yeah, you're getting close to Matador. Which I think you'll be fine.
Probably. I've heard horror stories,
fine.
but
I beat him, so you should be fine.
I've played RPGs.
Do you have buffing abilities on your characters?
Yeah, that's actually
abilities.
I'm gonna go with twice on this. Try to get something with buffing abilities.
Well, I'm gonna try and level up my guy more so I can fuse higher level demons because that's kind
But
of the only
real quick, but I would agree though. Even though you made a face, I think the having like the debuffing thing for your enemy is good on him too, because him changing himself, like cleansing himself, does take up a whole turn for him. That isn't him kicking you in the teeth, so I don't think that's a bad thing to have. So
Plus, there's like a lot of enemies in the game already that have had like debuffing shit on me. It's just that they weren't bosses, so I was able to take care of them like relatively.
Dog, like he will fuck you up.
I believe it.
If you're not, if you're not ready for it, like it is. It's like
Once you start,
No,
once you get the buffs, though, some of those fights, dude, I would do like with my main guy. I was doing like 2,000 damage on a couple times. A couple of those fights, like I was like, "Holy fuck, dude!"
Yeah,
like crank this guy up, and he's just fucking bam, just bare fucking knuckling these guys for 2K.
Yeah.
What I would suggest is honestly have like at least one person that's gonna like buff your guys up and one person that'll debuff him. Because if he's not focused on you, it's the best alternative for you.
Yeah.
Because he will debuff the fuck out of you.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too
he
hard,
will
as long as I
fuck
know
your
what to
skull.
like. Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. It sounds pretty manageable.
It takes a second. I mean, it took me my third try to beat him, but the first one I was like, Schweiss has like said like about the buffing thing. I was like, well, I'll try it, and I got close, but then I didn't have enough of like the mana drink or whatever to like make your magic go up, so I had nothing, and I was like, oh, okay, sick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, Zach, take us away. Let's talk about some Legend of Zelda.
Oh,
Twilight
fuck. I wasn't ready.
Take us away
We should
to a
talk
land
about-
called Hyrule.
Give me a second.
The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I'm Zach
Thank
now.
you. Thank you.
Is a 2006 action-adventure game developed and published by Nintendo for the GameCube and Wii. Originally planned for release exclusively on the
Talk like that.
GameCube.
Shut up.
Originally planned for release on the
Originally
GameCube.
planned for release exclusively on the GameCube in November 2005. Twilight Princess was delayed by Nintendo to allow its developers to refine the game, add more content, and port it to the Wii. The Wii version was a launch game in North America in November
didn't know that.
2006, and in Japan, Europe, and Australia the following month. The GameCube version was released in December 2006 as the final first-party game for the console.
So this takes place a century after Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, in an alternate timeline. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think they had the Zelda timeline like figured out yet, but you can definitely tell they like allude to in this game. They kind of allude to it being like the same Hyrule because like you guys played the Wii version, so the map is entirely flipped for a reason that I'll explain later. But if you're playing the GameCube or the Wii U version, like the map is essentially just the same layout as Ocarina of Time, just bigger. And they also, it's kind of like a widely accepted, I guess, like theory that the old swordsman, the skeleton swordsman guy that teaches you all the techniques, is possibly Link from Ocarina of Time, or at least another version of the hero from a previous.
That's
timeline.
cool.
Yeah.
I guess for plot, it's just like every other Zelda game.
It's just like every.
You're a person named Link, and there's some fuckery about in Hyrule, and you have to go save the day.
There is a lot
but
more
in
to it
this
than
one,
that.
there is. But then they turn you into a furry in this game. Was not expecting that.
So the land of Hyrule, normally peaceful, is besieged by areas being taken over by what is called the Twilight Realm, and anyone who enters the Twilight Realm becomes a spirit, except for certain individuals who turn into wolves, or I guess like the chosen hero becomes like a divine beast that's like a prophecy of some sort. And Link gets dragged in there, gets turned into a wolf, and is found by a little imp named Midna, who becomes your companion for the rest of the game. And she takes you to meet Zelda, who essentially, tasks you with ridding the land of the Twilight so that you can restore order to the kingdom and kind of, bring balance back between the Twilight realms and the regular Hyrule. And along the way, you're battling a guy named Zant, who looks super cool until the last hour of the game. And eventually...
Until you see him up close. And
yeah,
he looks
until
like a
he...
fucking idiot.
Until he shows what he actually looks like. And then you also find out that it's tied to the return of Ganondorf.
I honestly, though, spoilers for a game that came out forever ago, but I thought for sure that Zant was just going to be another incarnation of Ganondorf.
Technically, he kind of is, but
but not really. He's like a follower. Because Ganon, Ganon the Spirit is the villain, which, to me, I was, looking at it, and I'm it makes me think of Breath of the Wild, where you're playing as, where you fight, what is it?
Calamity Ganon?
Chaos Ganon. Calamity Ganon, which is, the incarnation of a spirit, essentially. So I was okay, that's... I thought that was kind of a...
So, aesthetically, I think this one kind of looks like... what the new one looks like, as far as, the weird little glitch that happens when the Twilight Realm holes open up. That looks like the gear and the mechs from
it
the new
kind of does,
Zelda
doesn't it?
game.
So I was thinking about it. This was the first time, I guess this is more like a graphics and design sort of thing, but the whole Twilight Realm has kind of more this alien Tron kind of almost technological look to it in certain areas, in certain elements, which we hadn't really seen in this series before, and we really wouldn't see again until Breath of the Wild, when you get to the ancient temples, and also I guess the Zoni later in Tears of the Kingdom.
Zonai,
however it's fucking pronounced. I didn't finish the game.
Amboni.
Yeah, but it's a cool... I don't want to call it cyberpunk or even steampunk. It's just sort of this weird element that... It really does help differentiate the Twilight stuff in this game from basically all the other games in the series up to that point, and then a few afterwards, where it definitely feels like this alien thing that does not belong. And I think that's super cool. Yeah.
So yeah, the story. Once again in the Zelda game, it's pretty slim pickings. I do think this one sets itself up a little bit better, because I think it actually gives me a sense of adventure, whereas all the other Zelda games gave me a sense of how long is this going to take.
Well,
this one I was actually invested in.
The other games definitely have a sense of adventure, especially the 3D ones, and they have a sense of exploration. But this one, I think it pulls you in more because it's a lot more cinematic right from the start. Where I think I was messaging Joe or one, just maybe the group chat, when I was yeah, there's a lot of it's almost like they got an actual cinematographer to set up these cutscenes compared to what they had in the N64 days, or even the Wind Waker, where it really feels...
Even Wind Waker.
Yeah, it feels like shot composition and sort of how things are framed is a lot more...
It's got shot composition. I would say, and Wind Waker was decent at this, although we haven't reviewed it for this show. But, it takes characters and puts them in dangerous situations, and you kind of, care a little bit more, I think. You also have a little bit of mystery when it comes to, what the Twilight world is, or Link turning into a wolf and stuff like that. All that stuff, I think it's interesting, and you're pulled along, and there's more dialogue in this one than the normal Zelda games, but it's not bogged down. It's not like it went the total opposite direction.
Well, and I think the reason for that, and also maybe the reason why this game has such a good story compared to the games that came before, is the fact that Midna is probably the best companion character in this entire franchise, even to this day.
Yeah, she's got a personality.
She has a personality, which the other ones
you don't really have a companion character in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. It's really just you.
Ocarina of Time, you have Navi and Tattle, which is just literally there to facilitate the Z targeting. And then you have the King of Red Lions and Wind Waker, which is just your boat, and he's fine, but doesn't really do much. And then Fi, whatever her name is in Skyward Sword, is terrible because she's basically just a robot, and she just points out a bunch of obvious shit that anyone could possibly fucking like. Oh, you picked up a blue rupee. I'm like, thanks. I couldn't tell. But Midna's like sassy, and there's clearly more going on with her than meets the eye at first, especially when you meet up with like Zelda and things are getting alluded to. Like, you know, she comes off as abrasive and sassy, but she's got like a side of herself that she's not letting you find out about right away, and is you sort of like become
the super
more
hot side that you see for like 2 minutes at the end.
yeah
Hell yeah.
as opposed to the super hot side of her that's there for the whole game. No, but like she clearly has like some shit going on that she's not allowing you to be privy to, and as you sort of like go through the journey with her and she learns that she can trust you more, the bond between her and Link and the bond between like her and some of the other characters like Zelda and Zant is really well done in this game. And I think her relationship with sort of like the elements of this story that come together carries the story and makes you care a lot more. I mean, like the kids from the village too, as horrific as they may be,
they're fucking terrifying.
Like they make you care about like Ilya, and they make you care about like the Zora prince and his like dead mom because she comes to you as like a ghost and stuff. There's plenty of like good character work in this one in a way that they didn't really have before. Maybe a little bit in Wind Waker, but it's a lot stronger here. So I think that's why. It is not your bog standard Zelda story in so much that it's like, there's the bad guy, go get him. Like they do approach it with more of like a storytelling angle than they did in the N64 games or even Wind Waker, I think.
Yeah. It's weird because there's really not much story similar to all the other Zelda games, but I think what it does have, it does fit very well. And like character development, stuff like that is part of story to me for sure. And I think they did a really good job with Midna, and like you said, her relationship with everybody else in the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like
just enough to keep you going.
Her being there gives the ability to have dialogue in the cutscenes that like normally Link would just be pantomiming through, and just like, oh, like she can actually sort of like react to things in a way that he can't because he never talks. And the fact that she's like patently very different from what we assume he would act like. She's like sassy, she's, you know, back talking people and like not really taking any shit from anyone. I think kind of gives it a unique flavor to this game specifically that you don't really get with some of the other companions that do talk, like the King of Red Lions or Fi.
Yeah,
I think
I
this
don't have
game
much.
too has a lot of like subversion in like the story, whereas like I didn't expect something to happen to Zelda halfway through, where like you assume like for all intents and purposes that part of the game she's dead, and you're just like, oh well. Like for me, I didn't see that coming, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, there's a part, again, spoilers for a 20-year-old game. There's a part in the midway through where Midna is essentially like dying, and you take her to Zelda, and then Zelda more or less like sacrifices herself to bring Midna back to life. And then again, for all you know, at that point, Zelda's just dead. So that was kind of a huge shocker in the middle.
I'm gonna text save for it, and I was like, the fuck.
Yeah, he's like, what the?
Like,
she's dead, and I'm like, just keep playing the game.
Fuck?
Yeah.
I guess this is kind of gameplay. I don't know. I liked the whole the story, the setup, but I like just the different places to go and how you like do like the normal shit, and you're like, all right, should be coming to the end of the game here, and then it's like, no, there's like still half a game left. You're like,
well, it is like the normal. It is essentially the same Zelda template that these games have been doing since like at the time since A Link to the Past, where it's like get a few things. Get the Master Sword, get a few more things, beat the game. But yeah, the way some of it's presented is really cool.
One of my things that made me chuckle a little bit with getting, because you know Zelda games, you get certain like, you know, power ups and shit as you go along. It's like the claws, the top, whatever. I laughed a bit when they were like, you know what you're gonna get? A second grappling hook, and I was like, all right.
Dude, I remember as a teenager being so disappointed where I'm just like, oh, they just ran out of ideas and they just give me another claw shot.
Honestly, that was my first thing. I was like, a second grappling
No, it was sweet. I like that. I was like, oh, sick.
It was good, but like, I don't know. That boss fight is fucking rad. I liked fighting the dragon. I thought that was
the dragon's a really cool boss fight.
That's like straight up Shadow of the Colossus boss fight.
Yeah, dude. Honestly,
like
for real.
So is like the
That was a-
underwater
that's
thing
good,
where
yeah.
you just get on its back and you just start hacking, slashing.
Yeah. Oh man. Honestly,
true.
dude, this is probably going into gameplay. I liked every boss battle in this game. Like I did not have like a. I was not bored of any of them. I thought they were all really fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it is going into gameplay. I don't have anything else to say about the story. Definitely drew me in though, and it was a call to adventure that I was ready to answer.
Yeah.
This one, gameplay wise, this one gave me that Conan Exiles fix for about 2 days. I felt that high, that Conan high.
Well,
and then it wore off because I realized I couldn't enslave anyone.
Well, in terms
Except
of
for the bugs. Maybe the bugs, but I had to let
Except for
some of
the
them go. When I had a duplicate, I'm like, come on.
in terms of the escalation, in terms of the call of adventure, it is really well handled. Where like they have basically King Bulbin, the orc guy on the boar,
Oh yeah.
as sort of like the faux like villain at the beginning of the game because he takes all the villagers away, and you have to like have that big clash with him on the bridge, and it kind of gives it like this nice end of Act 1 finality to it before you realize like, oh, we got to go after Zant, and then oh, we got to go after Ganon. So yeah,
I liked fighting him the second time though, where he at the end he's just like, "We're just Bulblins. We just follow whoever's stronger, and clearly it's you." And then he just fucking fucks off.
yeah, when you
He's
fight him in
just
the
like-
castle, he's like, I follow who's strongest, and he just walks away.
And he's like, "Bye." You're just like sick.
It was a good, and then they're like, he talked. Like,
Yeah.
But it's had good characters in it, dude. Honestly, like I feel like a lot of it was really well written.
I feel like Joe has a lot of things to say because we haven't really been letting him talk this whole time.
The children are still fucking terrifying, and I wish they weren't in the game. But just
The children are terrifying. I honestly don't have a ton to say about it. I just liked it. I liked the story. I was interested in what was happening, and I thought the mood of the whole thing was really cool.
It's definitely darker. It's a lot more like dismal than your usual Zelda.
It's darker, and it is interesting to me how, having played like half of Wind Waker and played Ocarina, like how many times they've had to like make a new plot that still give you the same basic beats of like go find the Master Sword to go kill Ganon. Like it's funny to me, and we definitely went more into detail on that with the Ocarina of Time review, where we talked about like the beat sheet of like everything that happens in the
yeah, we had to like check off your shit. It's
Yeah.
like,
everything that happens in like most of the Zelda games until I guess the last two. But
But I mean,
Yeah,
even the last two have the same kind of beat where it's like, okay, you got to go to these 4 different like temples, and then you got to
technically
go
it's
to.
optional. So it's
Then
like,
you got to find the temple. I mean, I mean, it is technically optional, but I mean, if you want the story, then you find the Master Sword, and then I agree, it's the same beats, but yeah, sorry.
yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised, especially because I did not like Ocarina that much. I can respect it, but I didn't like it. But this one I liked. I think I don't think it's like gonna win any Pulitzer prizes or anything, but it's a solid video game story. I would say it's like gosh, for a Zelda game it's a 10, but it's not. That's not the curve I'm grading it on. I would say it's an 8. Like it's really solid, just enough to kind of give you what you need for the gameplay. Maybe a little bit more than that, actually. It has good characters and
That's still really high. I think that's
an interesting world. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
What about you, A4?
I'm gonna mirror that 8. It's a good story. It's a lot more fleshed out than the ones that came before it, and even some of the ones after it. And again, I think it's good at pulling you along little by little, and it just does some weird shit. Like I didn't even get to talk about the cutscene. I think after you free the third of like the golden spirit things, there's like a weird cutscene where like Link's in like a weird dream world, and he's like all like tranced out, and there's just like the farm girl, like falling, like a bunch of her falling. Like,
Are you looking at Fink and it's like looks at the camera and it's like, and you're just like, what?
Yeah, and then there's like 3 dark Links, and they all touch the fused shadows, and Link goes like fucking apeshit for a second. It's this game pulls
There
some
was a
weird
couple
shit.
scenes. There was, dude. There was some like acid fucking shit in this game.
Especially when you see what Zant looks like. Like the fucking coolest looking design for a villain in one of these games in a long time, and then they take his helmet off, and he's like
He's a goober. And you're just like,
He's a goober, and then
Yeah.
he looks at Ganon at the end of the game, and he just goes, and then Ganon just dies.
Yeah.
And also,
I'm gonna give it an 8 as well.
Sorry, I just wanted to say
kidding.
that final line where she's like, "Oh, am I so beautiful you don't have any words left?" That's stuck with me since I beat this game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have shit to say, so I was like, kinda, yeah.
I do.
Damn.
But yeah.
A for
Yeah, I was like, damn, I didn't think you were gonna be hot, but here we are.
I'm gonna give it a 9. I really, really enjoyed the story. And I think I said this in the chat, I'm pretty sure, if I hadn't have played Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, this would be my favorite Legend of Zelda game. Like, hands down. Hands down would be my favorite. But with the old formula, definitely my favorite Legend of Zelda. It's just unfortunate that we live in a time where Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are out and fantastic.
Well, those were also like very needed evolutions of a formula.
Oh, for sure.
Because by the time fucking Skyward Sword came out, everyone's like, "We're still doing this shit." And then they took a break for like 6 fucking years and put out Breath of the Wild, and even though they didn't really do a whole lot new, they did enough new for Zelda that it just like fucking reinvigorated the entire fucking game industry. So yeah,
I'm gonna also give it an 8. I think it's solid, good entry in the series, great characters, good world building. Story is pretty basic, but it was present and it was there enough that it wasn't in the way. It was a little more involved of a story than before, and I think that might have been what the older ones were missing. But yeah, this one had just the right amount of call to adventure, and story in it. So I'm going to give it an 8. Gameplay. So I think I'm going to start this one. I think this game is really fun. I was playing it, and I got to where I started getting like the bomb arrows, and then I would be like, oh shit, I remember this one spot that I could get into over here and over here and over here, and then I got the underwater bombs, and like I had fun going back and finding shit on the map that I had missed before, or like when I started trying to collect some of the bugs for the one weird like handicap or Down syndrome princess or whatever in the city. She probably ate them, but whatever.
I didn't
It's none of my
find her,
business.
so I have no idea who you're talking about.
you didn't see
Yeah,
Agatha?
Did you do anything in this game, bro?
Yeah, I beat it.
Sure.
Anyway, so there's like in Castletown, there's like a little blonde girl in like a princess dress, and she wants you to collect these like golden bugs for her ball. She's like obsessed with bugs.
I found the golden bugs. Like, I found bugs. It was like,
Yeah, if
catching
you
them. I'm
bring
like,
them to her,
"What do I
she's
do?"
always like, "Oh, little snail, I'd love to take a bath in your slime. Anyway, here's 500 fucking rupees or whatever." Like,
I did not need any more rupees. So I'm fucking glad.
I don't know,
also,
man.
if you collect
she gives you a wallet upgrade, and I guess if you do all of them, she gives you a really big wallet upgrade.
Are you?
so it's also different in the Wii U version. If you beat, there's a dungeon that's locked behind the Wolf Link amiibo, and if you beat that first, you get the like 2,000 rupee upgrade. But then if you get all the golden bugs after that from her, you get the 9,999 rupee upgrade for your wallet.
Yeah. So
I was
I could
finding
do
those
2K.
bugs, and I didn't know what they were for. And I was like, well, this is kind of dumb. We wouldn't have like a thing to look at. They're like, oh, I'm catching these bugs. Like, let's stamp these off. Like, it was just like, is there a compendium or what? And I was like, oh.
There is.
No, there's a cash cow and a compendium. But yeah, I did that. I got as many of the pose as I could. I thought that was a cool system in this game.
It's basically
I found
the Gold Skull Tulas from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, but way better.
Yeah, but you
I
can
don't
find. You
like
have to
this.
see the wolf.
Yeah, and I don't know. I had fun doing it. I could see myself like playing this game again and just 100%ing it, being like, I'm gonna get all the bugs. I'm gonna get all the pose. I got most of both of those. And the exploration was really fun. Like I got the bomb arrow. I got the bomb and I blew off a chunk on one of the places. Climbed up there, and then I realized that I had to blow up another piece on the other side. I was like, oh, that's something I need later. And then I got the bomb arrow, and I was like, oh, shit. And then I went and I blew that part up, and then I was able to then climb across
Heart
the
over there,
chest
isn't there?
with a 1/5 of a heart in it, which is like
Fucking
disappointing.
fuck them for that, by the way.
You know, I actually was more mad in this game because most of the ones that I did the puzzles for, they're just more rupees, and I'm like, bro, I am maxed out on rupees.
Oh,
I don't
dude.
need money.
I was
And I'm
so
like, why?
fucking angry, bro. Because I kept getting all these rupees, and they'd be like, "Oh, you don't have enough room. We're just gonna put this back." And I'm like, "Fuck you." Fuck
Yeah,
you.
I want to check it off the map because I keep coming back to this stupid chest, being like,
So-
where do I go?
My thing would you'd be like, "Oh, you're at like, what is it, like 200? Is it the first one 300 or 200 or whatever?" It's like
think
you're
it's
at 200 and you're at 296. Oh, you found a 5 rupee? We're just gonna put. You don't have enough space. I'm like, give me change, bro. Like, just give me to the 5. Good God.
I mean,
Like,
at
I'll
least
make change.
in this game,
I'll
they
throw
give
a green
you
rupee out.
plenty of uses for your rupees. Like if you talk to the Goron in the weird little Harlequin baby shop in Kakariko, you can like donate so that he can upgrade and get to the Castle Town. And then when you get to the Castle Town, you can unlock the magic armor, which instead of taking damage, you lose rupees when you get hit.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm
Yeah.
mad about that. Why I'm mad about the little shop. Because I was like, oh, there's so many fucking rupees in this game. I don't need rupees. I'm like finding all this shit. Like I'm finding I didn't ever have to buy things. I found enough arrows, enough bombs in the wild. I'm like, fuck this.
Don't
I
tell
need
Schweiss
rupees.
that.
So I donated all my goddamn rupees to this little fucking freak. And then I went and they're like, oh, for 300 rupees, we can shoot you into Gerudo Desert. And I was like, fuck. So then I'm like, I spent an hour cutting grass. Fucking, here's a rupee. Dude,
Did you
and
not
then
find the little like rupee game where you ride the cuckoo from the like flamer and like you go down the
I thought about that.
Dude, just do it
After I
over
had
and over. Oh my
I thought
god.
about it after I had 300 rupees.
Oh
I
my god,
looked
Zach.
I looked up
It's
and
in
I
the
was like,
same area that you
It's like right
so what
there,
I-
yeah.
the
what I
cannon
did-
to
what
shoot
I
you over
did-
there.
What I did was went back to the mirror, like the Temple of Light, and I was like, there's chests in there that I know I put rupees back in. So I went and got 300 rupees in that shit, and then kind of like went to the temple. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna warp out, and it's like you gotta fucking walk all the way out again. And I'm at the end of this, and I'm like, fucking Jesus Christ, fuck this game. So then I walked. all
Wait,
the
you
way
were
back
in a
out.
temple?
I know, so I went back into the Temple of Time because I knew there was rupees that I couldn't pick up in there in the chests, and I was like, I'm just gonna
So
go grab
it's like
all those and get the
it's like an
500.
unwritten thing, or I guess you could warp out with Oko or whatever the fuck. But also,
Well, not when you're revisiting.
Okay, well,
when you're revisiting
okay.
a temple, Uku is gone.
okay, well, it's also an unwritten thing. But like, if you just save and then quit and then reload your save, you start at the beginning of the temple. Because I
hate these
had to
fucking
go
games.
back into the second temple.
I take it back.
To get a
I'm
chest.
giving it a 0.
I had to go back into the second temple to get a chest that I was missing because I didn't have the claw shots at the time. And like in that first room, there's like a switch you have to hit with the iron boots to turn off like a jet of flame. That, like I couldn't turn it off going back trying to get to the entrance. And so at some point I just kept falling in the lava. And I'm like, I'm just gonna save, turn it off, and go back in and
Yeah.
at the beginning.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you save and then reload your game, it starts you at the beginning of the dungeon every time.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
that's an
it's
easy
a
way out.
douchebag and doesn't
They
care
don't
about
really
it.
tell
Yeah,
you that,
well,
but
Yeah, you just find out about it when you save at the very end of the dungeon and realize, oh, I have to now do it all again.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, I've done that as a kid.
Thanks, Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Every
Oh,
time.
dude. So I went and fucking got 300. And the best part is, I had 296 rupees, and it was like, we're gonna put that in for later because you have too many rupees. And I'm like, I will make change. I will give you the change to
Yeah,
fill this
we'll do
300.
we'll do public
Please,
bus rules. You
For
can
the
keep
love
change.
of God, just let me get those. So then I'm fighting my way through this fucking temple, and then I still had to fucking cut grass for 4 more rupees. Fucking bullshit. Bullshit.
So can I tell you something funny about the Wii U version that you guys wouldn't know about because you played the Wii version? They added, I don't think they added chests. They might have changed some of the chests that have a bunch of rupees so that they now contain Miiverse stamps. So there's stamps that you can use on Miiverse posts. Miiverse, a service that is no longer available, where you can post things to the Nintendo Network. So I'm getting
Man,
stamps like,
they
oh,
love
Angry
doing those.
Midna. Oh, I'm getting the stamp for the Hylian letter F, and I'm like, I can't even use these.
Is that for Wii U or Wii?
It's for Wii U. That's the HD version.
Oh, so it's not in my version?
It's not in your version. No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I was like, I've never found one of those. What are you guys talking about?
I think my version has less rupee chests than your guys because I think they just replaced a bunch of those with like the stamps.
I hate the rupee chests anyway. I never need money.
I'm gonna echo what Schweiss said though. There was nothing more disheartening than blowing up 5 rocks, getting on the top and flying across some shit, and being like, "Oh, it's gonna be a heart in here, the last 5th heart piece I need." And it's like, "You're like, but your wallet's full, so you can't. We'll put it back."
It's like, what we? I'm not putting nothing back.
It was fucking. I have a fucking horse. I'll just put it in a saddle or something. Like,
I'll shove it up his ass like I
dude,
did in Oblivion.
There was a chest in like the south of the Hyrule Castle town that like I had to like hit a claw shot target above the thing that like wasn't even working half the time. Like at first I was like, I guess I just can't get up there. But then like I watched the video and like you can only hit it with the claw shot if you like hit the very tippy top of it. And then you have to like get on with the spinner and then jump off halfway to like land in the fountain. And there's a chest there that has a stamp in my version. I don't know what the fuck it had in yours. But then there was another chest up there. There was another chest up there that was way harder to get to that had 100 rupees in it. And I'm like, why is this here? This was harder to get to than the other one. Yeah.
5 heart containers made me just unreasonably mad.
I can understand.
I found it and I was like, yes! 3 more! And it's like, you got 1, 4 more! What the fuck? Why would you do me dirty like that? It's like they knew my ancestors were in fucking Pearl Harbor and they were like, fuck you, American boy.
I can understand why they made it 5 heart pieces for a heart container in this one because there's just so many.
Fucking stupid. I hated it.
Because the map is bigger. I get it. Speaking of the gameplay thing too, I remembered this game being like very open and kind of empty compared to Ocarina of Time because the map was just like a way bigger version of that. But like playing this one now, it's really not. I don't know why I thought that for so long.
There's a lot of enemies. There's a lot of things in the world.
It's really not as big and open and empty as I thought it was all these years. Like now that
and how can you be alone when the mailman always finds you?
Fucking God, the fucking Tardo mailman who comes in fucking fetal alcohol syndrome, bottom lip the size of fucking Rhode Island. He's like,
did you see him in the fucking like the bar? Like, if you turn around, he's in a corner, but he looks like fucking Gollum.
Yeah, he's like hunched over. He's like, maybe I'll have the potato soup. And I'm like,
he's like, maybe meat will be good. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
I think there's a few places he pops up in the map besides like that.
Oh, I only saw him in there, and then just like finding me to give me mail. And he's like, here's mail. And they're like, the Yetis are like, let's go snowboarding, man. And I'm like,
the mailman thing was very offensive to me. I found that triggering. The tarded mailman.
Is it funny because it's like way too close to home for you? Like,
no, he was a little too special for. I mean, I work with some people that I'm pretty sure, but like this is like.
The mailman's always kind of been like a weird joke character in Zelda, like in every game that he's appeared in. But like in this one specifically, they gave him like fetal alcohol syndrome. Like it's not even subtle.
Yeah.
I just want Schweiss's ringtone tonight. Like, bah, 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 bah. And then it's just like that song. No, that's what needs to happen, bro. We need it because you're the mailman.
As for the gameplay, though, I think the item selection in this one is very interesting. Like they have some cool new additions. Like the spinner is a weird fucking addition, but it's fun as shit. And all the
I mean, I don't know. I'm not Jewish, so like a dreidel wasn't my favorite weapon of choice.
Yeah, come on, man.
I don't know.
Back when I was 16 or 17 playing this game, me and my friends were like, "Yeah, you get to be like Aang. You get to ride around on the thing." And but also like I noticed I was thinking about it today. A lot of the items in this game seem to really facilitate using the Wii remote to aim with them. Like you get the slingshot like right away, and then you get, like not even 2 dungeons later you get the bow and arrow, which completely makes that thing fucking obsolete.
Irrelevant.
You get a fishing rod, which you just get for the whole fucking game. Which I think before this it was always just like one area, like the fishing area. But here it's just fuck it, fishing rod, whole game. Give it. Who cares? And then just other stuff too, like the claw shots are used with the aiming with the Wii remote. I mean, I didn't have the Wii remote this time. I was using the gyro controls on the gamepad. It's kind of the same thing. But like, I remember playing when I was playing this game for the first time on the Wii, like 20 fucking years ago. And there's that part right at the end of like the second dungeon where a bunch of like bokoblins are running out, and you could just fucking snipe them with the with the Wii
That's
remote
cool.
with the bow and arrow, because that was the item for the dungeon. It's just, it felt so good, and I'm like, yeah, this is like this is the case study right here of like, here's what this system was made for, was shooting a bunch of goblins with the fucking bow and arrow, which
Yeah.
also makes sense considering that this game got a spin-off later for the Wii Zapper called Link's Crossbow Training, which is entirely based on shooting things with the crossbow. So
What's crazy to me is that they were able to harness the Wii in a
What's
way
crazy
that
to me
wasn't like.
is that your microphone completely changed from what
Yeah.
it used to be, and now it's
Oh, that's weird.
yeah, you're like way louder now and significantly less quality.
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
What's weird to me is how well the Wii worked in this game. Like they found a way to make the Wii control like function enough that you could have the fun that you always had with the Wii games, but also not fucky enough that it would ruin you like it does in Wii Sports and stuff.
I don't know. I felt pretty fuckied with that some of the controls sometimes, but
I think the only part where the controls got me on the Wii was with that dragon. That was the only time when I was like, oh, I gotta find the pillar and then hit the dragon. But once I got a hold of it, it wasn't that bad. It was just initially. That was the only boss. I think that was the only boss I had to like
It is a bit annoying
twice.
that the waggle is essentially just a glorified button. It's like just hitting the B button for the sword in like every other version of this game. And they really wouldn't deliver on that like one-to-one sword control until Skyward Sword, where it's like, hey, here's that thing we said that we were going to do with this system 5 fucking years ago when we announced it. But, we had to put like a weird extra attachment to make the Wii.
They had that Red Steel game, right?
Yes, but here's the
early
thing.
Samurai
Here's the
game.
thing. Red Steel 1, not very well received. Red Steel 2 also uses the Wii Motion Plus, which is what Skyward Sword used to make it work better. So, kind of a similar situation. Also, Red Steel 2 just looked way cooler. Red Steel 2 is like a weird, like, steampunk, like, samurai western type game. I want to play Red Steel 2 at some point. That game looks fucking cool.
the weirdest thing I had with the controller, or like the most like fuck up, was at the end when you fight Zelda controlled or Ganon controlled Zelda. I'd go to like hit the thing back, and I'd be like going like this, like I'd be like doing it, and Link would sit there and go. I'm like, what the fuck? And he'd miss, and I'd be like, dude, what?
Oh, that has to be super frustrating. The fucking like tennis ball shit that it has from
yeah, but I looked at it, I'm like, this is the same thing as fucking Ocarina of Time. Just let me hit A. Let me hit A, goddammit.
Yeah.
Like, just let me. But like all in all, it was fun. Like I had a really enjoyable experience with gameplay. I'm complaining, but I had fun. Like I had a lot of fun.
real quick, since I didn't play the Wii version this time, and I don't remember. Is there like special motions for like doing the stab and doing like the vertical slice, or is it just like depending on?
Kind of. Like if you're holding the cocks like this, yeah, to like
straightforward
with your little thing,
perpendicular.
yeah, and you have to like if you're like shield bashing, you have to like push your like little like nunchuck forward.
Okay,
and you gotta go like this. Yeah, it's just like
Yeah,
It gets a little screwy.
A little screwy. Like, it's definitely not perfect, but it's not. When people were complaining about this game, we're like, make sure you get the super expensive version that no one can afford, or else you're gonna have a horrible
Which is
time in
every
Zelda.
version but the Wii version, because the GameCube
but the
version
Wii
is expensive, and for some fucking reason the Wii U version is also really expensive.
I would also need to buy a Wii U, so that you would just double that price. So I went with the Wii, and I was like, well, my friend played the Wii version when I was growing up, and it wasn't that big of a deal. And no one noticed any problems with it or anything like that as far as I remembered. And then playing the game, I was like, yeah, it gets a little bit junky, but it's not like, it's only in like specific little spots in the game where it even matters. Mostly it's just like, swing away and you get a
little swingaroo
hit. Yeah, a little swing.
I was talking shit one time about to Rachel when I had like the armband. I'm like, I don't fucking need this armband. I'm sick of this shit. And I fucking launched the controller into the floor on accident. I was like fighting. I was like really into it. I was like, ah.
Man,
and it's like hitting fast. I was like,
you gotta go.
After I took the condom off the Wii controller.
I was gonna say, did you have the condom on?
No, because I inherited a Wii this summer. I helped some old people move to Florida. that are like friends of the family, and she was like, "Hey, my grandkids really want this, but like, fuck them. Do you want this Wii?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want this Wii." Yeah, so she gave me. I got the Negro Wii. And then I got the special edition one.
Nice.
And then it has the I threw the condom away. I didn't need the condom on there.
Why would you just not keep it in case?
Because I don't need it. It's like so bulky. I don't use condoms because I don't practice. All right, they're for practice. So I had that. But also in inheriting this Wii, I got one of the Final Fantasy games.
Oh no, that could be really bad, depending on which one.
I don't think it's a good one. I got a Final Fantasy game.
The Wii ones? Oh, they're
like
it's like
bad.
Zodiac. It's like Zodiac Age or something like that.
That is not on the Wii. I don't know what the fuck they did.
I have a
Crystal
Wii
Bears?
I don't know. I'd have to look into my mom's basement.
Okay.
If it's that one, it's one of the worst.
I'll also find it and show you guys. I got that Zelda. I got that game.
Chocobo's Dungeon. Everybody.
And they had Super Mario Galaxy 1.
That's a great game.
And I was like bitching, dude. So like they had those two games, and then yeah. Also for the listeners that don't know, I had originally bought this game like almost a year ago in preparation for playing it for the show, and in amongst moving from point A to point B, I put it in a box and I fucking lost it. So I had an HD version of Twilight Princess all raring to go, and then I had to reorder a second version of Twilight Princess because I could not fucking find. I couldn't find it. So I'm mad because I got one that didn't say like Game of the Year on it, and the first one, and the second one says Game of the Year, and I'm like, fucking assholes. I paid the same amount, bitches. So now I gotta find my other one, and I'm just gonna go take the second one and be like, to Planet whatever games, and be like, give me credit. Because I have two versions now.
Back in the day, I bought Twilight Princess before I even had a Wii, because I was anticipating getting one, and I just wanted to read through the manual and shit.
Wow.
Anyway, weird thing about the gameplay in this game.
Manuals, man.
The weird thing about the gameplay with this one, because on the Wii version, they figured that everyone was going to be like, well, most people would be right-handed. So they thought, oh, Link should be holding the sword in his right hand because that's where the Wii remote goes. So instead of just flipping the model around and having Link be right-handed, they just flipped the whole fucking game around. So the entire map on the Wii version is flipped around for some reason.
There were some spots I got fucking lost, and all the fucking guides are reversed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was an asshole. Like when I was like, this fucking dungeon, where do I go next? I look in there, it's like, go left. I'm like, it doesn't. It ends here. There's nothing here. And then I realized, I was like, oh yeah, there's a distant memory of someone telling me about this at some point.
Okay.
Oh man.
Mine was I couldn't get one of the ice puzzles, and I was just fucking done in that Yeti place. And so I was like looking online, and the guy's like, you do this, and then you move this here, and I'm like stopping. I'm like, hey, there we go. And then I moved it, and I'm like, it doesn't fucking go over there. Why is it over there? And so I'm like looking, I'm like, the fuck is this? And so then finally and I was like pissed. So I like stopped the game, and I was like reading through these comments, and finally I was like, oh, it's someone, because someone on YouTube was like, hey, something's wrong, like your map is wrong. And the dude commented, and he was like, essentially like, you're just a loser because you're just not doing it right. I have played the game right. And then the next comment was, no, dude, it's switched around because he's playing a Wii U version, you're playing a Wii. And the dude like was like, oh shit, I'm so sorry, I didn't know there was a difference, sorry guys. And I was like, he held himself real fast, but I was like, just a fuck you, man, I beat this game. And I'm like, everyone else is pissed. So I
know what the fuck I'm talking about, bitch.
It was really funny. I was like, then he was like, oh shit, guys, sorry, this is like this. And I'm like, you asshole. But
yeah, it was interesting, like it was interesting seeing almost like how Ocarina of Time was like translated into like, 2 generations later. 'Cause that's basically what, like, this game is just Ocarina of Time, just 2 generations later.
Yeah.
I mean, one.
Ocarina of Time, but good.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that yet, but you could see like they're using like the musical system from Ocarina of Time, and now you have a couple different versions of those. Obviously, the Wailing Wolf is probably the least fun to listen to, in terms of those things. There's also the whistling to get like the bird down to do some sniper stuff on a monkey that you need later in the game. There's some like riding like these pig things
to ride the hog.
To smash some barriers down. Like there's a lot of interesting expansions on what we saw already in Ocarina of Time, just like again like 2 generations later, and even with the Wii controls, as people say, being clunky or whatever, much more smooth and playable, and makes up maybe the pig. That part was actually kind of a pain in the ass. But
I mean, have you ever
fucking fun, bro?
have you ever tried to control a hog before?
no, I admit outside of my own in the
crank
pants.
people off.
He's
He's controlled Schweiss's hog before. What are you talking about?
I take Schweiss's hog and I tell it where it goes.
And it kind of fights you a little bit. You gotta like course correct. And then you
Joe, tell
You
us.
gotta lasso the tip, and just yank on it until it goes blue, and then it'll subdue.
And then Schweiss's hog smashes through a bunch of like wooden barriers.
Oh yeah! And Joe's just like spread eagle.
So yeah, I really like, and look, the puzzles were interesting, or excuse me, like the dungeons were interesting. I did have to get a guide a few times. I'll admit, like there's sometimes
There's nothing wrong with
deal
that,
with this.
buddy.
Like the one with the wind level with all like the crazy shit on that one. Like as ingenious as that level was, there was a lot of times where I was like, I can't figure this shit out. Like I have.
That one
like,
can
look
get
things
really
up.
fucky. That one gets really tricky.
Yeah, because it is really like multi-layered in terms
Especially
of
if you don't like when you don't have the boomerang and you're just like, this is where the door led me. I should be able to. I jumped across that fucking chasm so many times to be like, if I jump just right now, I should be able to just make it into that as it goes past. I'm like, I can do it. I fucking know I can. And then spoiler alert, you cannot. That is not how the game works.
That level was probably.
What
that level was probably the most
asshole part. Are you talking about the city in the sky, or are you talking about the forest?
Yeah, the city in the sky.
Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah, not the first puzzle.
I thought I was talking about the monkey one. I was like, I can make this gap. There's no fucking way. I could not make the gap. I could not.
No, there's some big gaps in the city in the sky one. So I was just assuming that was one of those. There was like one room where there was a lot of the bats things flying around. And there was a lot of like jumping across platforms and shit, and I couldn't quite. And there was the things in the tiles that would pop up. Whatever that room was, that room gave me some. That room gave me some hell.
You get knocked off, and you just basically start over.
Yeah,
it's pretty much platform. It's platforming, and Joe famously does not like platforming.
I said it a few episodes ago.
I can understand.
Games.
I said it a few episodes ago, but there's like a puzzle in Hyrule Castle near the end where like there's like 2 different wings. One of the wings goes to like a hallway full of paintings, and then like the switch to open the door is behind like the only painting that's different. And then the other direction, there's a painting on the wall, so I knock that off with the arrow, and then there's like a picture that shows you like a design. I'm like, oh, I have to light the torches in this order. But then like when I get the first one, it like releases a bunch of the bats, which I took as a sign that like I did it wrong, but that's actually the correct thing. Because the little pattern that shows you the way to light the torches, it doesn't really tell you what orientation you're supposed to be doing it in, because it's just 4 corners. So it's like, I guess I start here, and then like, the torches are just going out. I'm like, I don't fucking know. So I had to look up a guide for that, and I'm like, oh, I did it right. It's just that releasing the bats, which is what it did in the other fucking section when I got it wrong, that actually meant it was right this time. So stupid me.
Yeah, the game became like a Medal of Honor game. Like in those games, anytime you jump on like an M42 mounted machine gun, the game will just spawn Germans for you to mow down. It's like no matter what.
That makes sense though, but like in a Zelda game, if I do a puzzle and I get a bunch of bats falling on me, I assume I did it wrong. That's like 9 times out of 10. That's
true.
the result of doing the puzzle incorrectly. And then this time, it just happened to be correct. I guess they just thought they were being funny because it was the end of the game. And they were like, fuck it, throw bats at him. He's at the end of the game. Who gives a shit?
I'll be honest, I used the guide pretty religiously for the last, like, probably 2.5 dungeons. The one in the sky I started to use quite a bit, probably about halfway through. And then from then on, it was like, hey, I have to beat this game. Like, it's getting ridiculous how far behind I am in this thing. So I'm going to have that guide sitting in my lap the entire time. Most of the game, I didn't have to do that, but near the end...
It's funny you say that, like the last dungeon, or is it the last dungeon or second to last? Whatever the area is with like the dark, like squishy people
the Twilight,
thing. The Twilight. That thing was that was the easiest fucking dungeon in the whole game.
Yeah, it's
so,
pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
it's super straightforward. So it's interesting that you needed it for that one.
I didn't need a guide. Well, okay, I used a guide once on that because I got to the boss door and I was like, "Where the fuck is the boss key?" And I was like,
Same.
I swear to God, I opened every fucking chest. So I'm watching it go. And like, here's something that bugs me a lot, and I get because it's like the time, whatever. The brightness for the game was like, oh, you can't fix it in game. You have to turn your TV brightness up. And I was like, oh, I'm not doing that. So when I was looking for that chest, the like falling like waterfall of like black, I thought was just a wall because I couldn't tell that it was moving.
It was that dark.
Oh yeah, the dark fucked me up in this game. I was like not having a good time. But I was like, oh, you can jump through that. So I jumped through it and I was like, oh, there's the fucking boss key. So then I had to fight my way fucking back and I was like, this is dumb. But it's like I thought that was gonna be the last part of the game because I'm like, oh, we're gonna fight Zant. This is it. So not only do I have to work the next day, but it is almost 1 a.m. and I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna fucking fight. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna beat it now. I'm gonna be done. And guess what? That's not the end of the game. You have a whole fucking temple left because it makes you do a temple through Hyrule Castle. So, like, I've never been so disheartened in my life with a game than when I was like, yes, I'm going to kill him. And it's like, oh, that's not...
To be fair, the Hyrule Castle dungeon is also fairly straightforward, but it's kind of like...
I know, but I was like, I was so convinced that was my last level. Like, I was so excited.
Come on, man, you played Ocarina.
Like, oh, man, I was so stoked, dude. And I'm like, it's going to be worth it. I'm going to be tired at work tomorrow, but it's going to be worth it. And it wasn't worth it because then I had to play Friday night too. And I was like, oh man, I was so... It was like when I played a Fire Emblem 3 Houses and I thought for sure that was the last level of the game and the level I was in, but it wasn't. And then the next level, I'm like, for sure this is the last level. And then it wasn't. And then the third level, I'm like, for sure this is it. We're fighting this villain. For sure this is the last level. And then it fucking wasn't. And then the last level, I was like, there's another fucking level. Fucking fuck this game. And it was the last level. So I for sure had the same kind of like, I love this game. I really enjoy it. But it's time to go to sleep. It's time to put this game to bed. It's time.
Yeah.
It was fun, but it's time to just... put my Wii back in a box.
That is like the worst feeling when you get to the end of a game and it's like, and it just keeps going and it's like, oh my fucking god, please, can we please be done with this?
It was kind of, for me too, it's kind of like Last of Us 2, where I'm like, yeah, we did it, and then Ellie's like, oh man, we're gonna get our revenge, and I'm like, no, it's an extra hour and a half of no. Neil, you fuck.
I mean, that is the Zelda game thing. It's like,
I know.
Always overstay your welcome, always. Like, it's like a guest that doesn't know that you're kind of done hanging out with them. They're just like, okay, can't want to leave now. Okay.
I jerk off.
I just said.
Well, what
I also didn't...
should we give gameplay?
I real quick, I also wanted to touch on the secret techniques that you learn. I think those are really cool. It's kind of like a bit of an expansion of the parry system that they introduced in Wind Waker, where like certain enemies give you like a quick like A button prompt, and then like you can roll around them and hit them from the back. It's essentially just expanding on that and giving you more options. So that's a super cool way to expand that combat system, and I think it fits the game really well. So
with that turn, I like jump behind and slash. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong because I was like watching it, and I had done it the one time, and I really didn't do it other times, and I kept rolling, and I'm like, I'm fucking doing this wrong, and I don't know why. But you're supposed to roll. You're supposed to jump and then roll and then do it, and I like was like I was like, no, this is stupid. This isn't right, but it was right.
I have the vague memory of like getting fucked up on one part where that was required, and I wasn't sure how to do it.
Oh, it's like
no, I remember. I looked away.
I remember
during like I was in the white area where you have to like learn it, and I had clicked through the text box on accident, like, so I never saw the instructions, and I was like fucking. Oh man, it was awful, and I think I had to like restart the Wii. Basically, I was like, I can't do this. I can't remember what happened there, but obviously I beat this like 12 months ago. So yeah, forgive me.
The only trouble I had with them is there was one that I unlocked, and it was like I unlocked it, and then there was a dude. It was nighttime and it was raining. I remember distinctly, like it was yesterday. And it was a flame arrow guy, and I was like dodge rolling just to kind of get to the wolf, and then I started to jump up the little platform because he's like up on top of this little thing where I had to jump 3 times to get to him. And then I jump up to once, pull myself up, and then I get shot directly in the back. And by the back, I mean the shield with a flaming arrow. And I start like rolling around. It melts the shield away, and I'm like, God damn it. Whatever. And so I climb up to the wolf, and the wolf's like, come back to me when you have a shield in hand. I was like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, I had one this whole game, and it was just ripped away from me. And so I just said, you know what, fuck you. And I waited till the next day, and I bought the metal one, and then I went back and I killed that fucker. And then I went up there and did the thing. But I was so mad. I was like, are you kidding me? I avoided burning it this whole time, and now it's gone.
So you told me that story. So as soon as the metal shield became available, I was like, take my fucking money. I was like, I'm buying this stupid metal shield. With gameplay real quick too. I felt like playing as the wolf was like, I don't know if like I have the sensitivity turned up. Yeah, no, I just feel like, I don't know if I had the sensitivity turned up, but I felt like when I was like jumping around and stuff, I would like constantly fall off sides of shit.
Nah, the wolf has like a weird like sense of mobility compared to Link. I think he's like slightly faster.
Yeah, so I'd jump and be like, yeah, and then he'd just like slide off the edge. I'm like, no. So I don't know. I thought that was a little weird, but like not enough to like make me be like, fuck this game, but like enough to be like, nah, it's kind of annoying. But
well, when it comes to the techniques too, like half the enemies would just block them anyway. Like they felt like they were there to give you an advantage, like if you went and found them all. But like half the time I was fighting the Dark Nuts or the Iron Knuckles, they would just like they wouldn't give me the chance to do the Helm Splitter or any of that shit anyway. Especially in Hyrule Castle when you have to fight like 2 at a time. So it's like I might as well not even have these fucking things.
Were those like the Lizalfos guys?
Lizalfos, yeah, like the super armored ones, yeah, it's the same deal. But
yeah, I noticed that with I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this attack, yeah, like the one where it's like the helm sword or whatever. He says this is really good against people with armor, and you do it, and they're like, no, and they hit you with their tail and land.
Yeah, and I'm just like, why do I even have this technique? It doesn't.
Like I learned this for a reason.
Yeah. That being said, gameplay is like definitely a solid. Ooh, I'm like teetering between a 9 and a 10 because it's a really good game, but. I don't know. You know what? I'll give it a 9. This is a really, really good game for gameplay. It's a blast to play through again, despite the fact that we live in a post Breath of the Wild world. It's
Joseph,
really good.
I'm going to echo the 9. I think that it is an ingenious, really well made, great improvement on Ocarina of Time. I'm only taking a point away because there's some janky parts. Maybe it was the Wii control, but other than that, like it's a really fun game with a lot of depth in the gameplay and really really smooth experience and just challenging enough where it was fun, but not so challenging I was frustrated. And in that way, I just had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing it. That might be the first time in a Zelda.
You
I actually like I like the very original Zelda quite a bit, but this one is, to me, it's even though people have said it's aged bad, I actually think this one's aged pretty well in terms.
I know,
of
like I hadn't heard that, but I definitely don't.
I think it's aged well in terms
of.
of gameplay. I think it's aged worse in other areas that we'll probably get to next. But yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. I think it's a really fun game. It hit that Conan feel for me with the exploration, stuff like that. Like I've been playing all these games and I've just been kind of trying to bum rush through them. And this one I actually did take a decent amount of extra time to play just because I was having a really good time with it. And that has not been a feature of as of late in my life. So I've normally just cut out all the middle stuff and just beat the game. But this one I was like, no, this is something different. This is something special for Zelda. I wanna kind of get to where I feel like I've had enough and then go beat the game. So I didn't do everything. So there's still a desire to do it again at some point, maybe in the future. But I did a lot and I did enough to where I was like, I think I'm satisfied. You know, I'm not going to be going catching the fish. That would be like if I want to truly 100% it, but I did enough, and then I finally went and beat the game. And I almost died to the final boss. I got like really, really low, and then I started doing my sweet strat of just side shimmying and then wait and then just keep like jumping to the side until I get kind of behind him and then hit him like twice. And I did that for like 10 minutes straight with I think a quarter of a heart, and I just beat him.
Oh,
so
God.
I almost died, so it was almost challenging. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think this is definitely the best Zelda game I have played, personally, although I have not played either of the new ones. So I have Breath of the Wild, I just have not played it.
You should eventually play those. I think you'll really enjoy those.
I'm afraid to play them.
Why? You like the 100% things. Like, I don't...
Well, I mean, it'll be too good, and I won't want to do anything else.
Honestly,
the
I feel like
fear.
if any of these games is going to give you the Conan thing more than this, it's Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Don't be like a couple friends we have and be like, well, the game's good, but your weapons break, and that's just dumb because I should be able to do whatever I want with all the weapons. And it's like, shut the fuck. It's part of a survivability thing. It's cool. Don't let them become.
Yeah, don't worry. That doesn't bother me in games.
Then, okay.
I don't mind.
You'd have fun with
weapon
Breath of the
breaking.
Wild. But yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I was teetering between an 8 and a 9, and I do think I'm going to give it a 9. Aside from like some fucky things with the Wiimote, which 100% might have been me not calibrating shit. It was good. Like I had some problems, but not a lot. And I mean, I got shit done, obviously, and I beat the game. So, and I didn't have to fight any boss more than once. So, I think I did okay with the calibration.
Also, real quick, the gameplay, like the Ganon fight is like 4 fucking phases. Like it takes a long time. It's pretty epic.
Oh yeah.
I didn't expect that either. 'cause it
Especially
kept
when it's
going
like,
and going.
like the tennis shit from Ocarina of Time, and then you're fighting him like pig to wolf.
Way better.
And then you're fighting him
tennis
on
shit,
horseback,
but
and then
way
you're fighting
better.
him one-on-one.
The one-on-one though was fucking awesome. Like the horse one,
Yeah, the horseback one pit was bullshit, dude.
Yeah, I hated that. But I mean, and the pig one was okay. But like, the best one out of those phases is definitely the one-on-one.
Also, much like being able to use the bottle to hit the thing back in Ocarina of Time, I believe in this one you can use the fishing rod to distract him as like a secret little item trick.
I heard that. So I read something about that because someone was saying it, and it was like they were joking. So he's like, "The fuck are you trying to hit me with a fishing rod for?" And then you can just like,
yeah, that's what I've heard anyway.
Whap him.
But yeah,
it makes me think of that old commercial where they're like where the old guy's got the fishing pole and the dollar, and he's like, "Almost got it, almost got it, guy." Like, it's like yeah. You're like doing the rupee in front of Ganon, like, "Oh, almost got it," and he's like, "Ah," and just yeah. So yeah,
So-
9. I give it a 9.
Graphics and design.
Art and graphics.
Art and graphics.
Fucking those goddamn kids.
Dude,
Those kids
Yeah, they're
are
fucked up.
fucking terrifying.
there is something in the water in Ordon, and I don't know what it is.
That
but-
the one little baby that's got like an entire like twin towers as his fucking like forehead is wild. Wow,
There's
wild.
like
to
the
me.
fucking. There's the girl too, like not the farm girl, not Ilya, but like the other girl who like acts all
Her
flirty
sister
with
or
Link.
whatever.
It's whoever the fuck, and like she acts all flirty with Link. It's like you can't do that when you have a character that looks like a Bratz doll with a fucking brain tumor. Like that's not okay.
Real quick, going back to the kids, I always thought, like, so you know when they all come up to you and be like, well, Link, I need to see your sword because I'm going to practice with this. And it's like, give them it's like, say yes or say no. I was like, no, fucking asshole, get away from me. Like, I'm not giving you my sword. And then it's like, oh, well, you can't go any further until you give him the sword.
It's like a but thou must
asshole.
situation.
Asshole. That being said, the children are horrifying.
A lot of the characters in the game are fucking horrifying.
But adult
Yeah, and the Bratz doll one, it's like the quasi attractive chick that's in the special ed class in high school. It's like
Jesus
it shouldn't
Christ.
She's like a tard 6, you know, like
Oh,
What are we talking here? Like,
God. Twice
you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, she could be on the low end of special because there's real special in that
Like,
class,
like,
but I
Twice
don't
is
know.
like-
look, give me
Twice
like,
raise up, syndrome down.
give me like 4 Coronas and 2 IPAs and maybe we're talking.
And I'll be just as retarded after enough
I
alcohol.
might need to plug my nose, but
Yeah, no, that's how that one was. It's just like kind of awkward. Like, oh,
Well, and then there's like the other kid who wants to play with your sword, and he's like, yeah, and it's like I hate this kid. And then there's the third kid with like the Melvin haircut or whatever the fuck. He's like a wimp.
Oh yeah, that little
yeah.
kid, he's
Thank
like,
God I guess a couple of the characters look normal, and one of them is the freaking the chick from another like dimension. After she gets
Dude,
she
this
gets
game,
changed
though,
from the.
I don't know what they were on in this game, but they were just like,
Dude,
we're gonna give characters big ol' honking titters in this game.
Dude,
and I'm not sure why that was like their design, but they were like, oh, we are gonna draw titties, and you're like, all right, man, do your shit, dude.
The lady
I'll
who
fuck
owns
that
the
first
bar-
lady. I'll fuck her hard, 100%.
Yeah, dude.
the lady who owns the bar, when you first like meet her, like Link visibly looks down at her chest for a second. Like they animated that.
Yeah, and she's got to be like damn near menopausal in this game. Like she's in her 40s at least, and I'm like, damn, they're really sexing this chick up. Like,
Oh yeah, and she's like,
a lot.
you
know what that
you
means?
haven't want to come down to the bar, child. You just come on. And she like winks at you, and it's just like, I need an adult.
You know what it means? She can't get pregnant, so you don't have to have a condom. I told you it's for practice.
Yeah.
It's for practice, and we don't practice. Schweiss just goes for it.
You know, I'm kind of surprised that
like
oh,
lionizing not condom use on this podcast. It's really
that's right.
It's really interesting.
I mean,
It's really
Schweiss is one of the
interesting.
hosts,
I
and
just wanna point that
if
out.
anyone's like a walking example of not using condom, it's Caleb Schweiss.
Yeah, man. I'm at least legit with it. It's like, no condoms, no nothing.
He's got 1 million kids, and his dick looks like an ent.
Please, the next time you're gonna have sex with your wife, please be like, yeah, let's bring out tree beard.
Fucking Schweiss just goes in with his like fucking tree skullet, and he's like, "Whoa, the end one."
Yeah.
And that's also bullshit because I don't use condoms and I got nothing to show for it.
Yeah. I'm just having. I mean, every time you think of having a kid, I actually have one. That's what it is.
You
Every time
personally
A4
taken-
has sex, one
you've
of
taken all of-
Schweiss's sperm gets its wings.
Oh, dog. Schweiss, I'd like to thank you for manifesting all of the pregnancy scares that I've had. And you took the sperm for me, buddy. You took...
Last one, you guys both must have had a scare because I wasn't expecting the last one. He was not planned. The one before him was and is a nightmare, so I wasn't so sure how many more I wanted to have, but then there it is.
That's actually Schweiss's stand power, is that he steals other people's pregnancies. The stand's called When the Water Breaks, the Liquid Tension Experiment song.
When the water breaks.
Yeah. Anyway, this game is hideous.
Get the fuck out of here! I think this game outside of the eyebrows and some of these characters, I think it looks fucking great.
Okay.
A4. I'm on the opposite side of this with you.
I'll level with you. This game reeks of 2006 because it's the beginning of that PS3 generation where like everything is super desaturated, super brown, super gray. There's bloom fucking everywhere, especially in the Twilight realm. But as
love
much as
bloom, love a good bloom,
as
love a good desaturated bloom. A4.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw my recent movie.
I did not yet. I should have watched the thing on Indiegogo. But despite how much all the characters in this game look like homunculus babies or Harlequin babies, there's a lot of cool environment designs in this game that I really, really like. I love the design of the Twilight realm, and I like the whole like Twilight Palace area thing. I think that the giant bridge over the lake is a super cool fucking set piece, especially in the first part when you get there and they set the bridge on fire and you have to just jump off into the lake. And just kind of like other weird little stuff, like the fucking the mansion in the mountains being like a dungeon is just a super unique idea that like they never really revisited in the Zelda series. I like a lot of the environment design in this game a lot. Like the Arbiter's Grounds looks super fucking dope. Like the fucking where the Twilight Mirror is, and it's just a big like obsidian slab held up by chains in the middle of like this fucking like desert arena. It looks super dope. So yeah, like I shit on it for being like 7th gen core in its visuals, and all the characters make my eyes hurt. But yeah, this game definitely.
I disagree.
I think this game does look cool in certain areas, and I do think that some of this art direction is really well done. That being said, the jump between Twilight Princess and Twilight Princess HD is significantly less noticeable than Wind Waker and Wind Waker HD. Like Wind Waker HD, the difference is subtle, but like they just added a little bit of bloom here and there and kind of softened up some of the cell shading. It just looks perfect. This game, when I saw the reveal trailer for Twilight Princess HD a few years ago, and I was like, they didn't even change the fucking graphics. Like, why are they calling this HD? It looks the same thing as it did on the Wii. And granted, it's higher fidelity. I get it. But like, I don't think that this game's art design has aged particularly well. I think, especially given like, and I don't know why they chose to make the characters look like that. It's almost like they were doing it out of spite, where they were just like, oh, you guys didn't like Wind Waker, huh? You guys want a realistic Zelda? Yeah, we'll make a realistic fucking gritty dark Zelda. Except all the fucking characters are gonna have
fish woman.
All the fucking characters are gonna have like botfly eggs in their brains. But like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that this art design necessarily gels with this series very well, because like later games would sort of marry the like more realistic proportions of the characters in this game with the more like cel-shaded art style of something like a Wind Waker. That's essentially what Breath of the Wild is. It's just like cel-shaded art style, but with like more human proportions than Wind Waker's weird like football head, cat-eyed cartoony shit. I just don't think that this game's art style holds up particularly well against the age of time, because it's just trying too hard to have these more realistic, grounded textures, and I just don't think it like looks all that good even 20 years after the fact. Like as a kid, as a teenager, when I wanted the dark gritty Zelda, it was great, but even a few years later I was like, I don't really know what we were thinking when we all wanted like this kind of like grounded, realistic, gritty Zelda game. I think that Wind Waker has held up way the fuck better visually than this game did ever. So I know you're going to disagree with me on that, but
hard disagree. Not that I have a problem with how Wind Waker looks, but this game I think evokes through its visuals, and I say in the large scheme, I don't mean the scary looking children. I just want everything that I'm saying is aside from the terrifying looking children in this game. It evokes like an 80s fantasy like movie feel, like late Ray Harryhausen,
or like Dark Crystal, maybe.
Yeah, like Dark Crystal and stuff like that, where that bloom that you're talking about, that diffusion, that was very common then and up until like the mid 90s when it started to become like not cool among the Hollywood cinematographers to kind of like spice up their image that way or smooth out actors' features and stuff. But I think it looks beautiful. I love that diffusive look. I think it's with the themes of like light and dark, like the visual themes that it keeps on pulling in, along with like the kind of reflecting the worlds that the game resides in, from like the shadow world and then the regular world, kind of emphasizing those points. I think it's use of like the fiery reds and the yellows, like the really saturated yellows, and then the shadowy stuff. I love that it's also in widescreen, even though it's a Wii game. Like, it has you adjust your TV for the widescreen, at least in my version, when it was plugged into my HD television, and it was able to like fully use the full expanse like that. I love the direction, like the visual direction of the cutscenes are really good. I think this game looks fantastic. I don't know. I'm like on the opposite end with you. I don't look at it and be like, nah, it's 2007. I think it's like, this is a send up to like 80s stuff more than it is like a 2007, we just figured out how to make lights do this for our technology thing. I don't think that's what it is. I think it gives it like the sense of myth that you don't have with Wind Waker. Like, Wind Waker is a cartoon. I don't think you have it with Ocarina of Time either. I think with this one, it's like you're looking through the lens of legend and myth, and nothing is 100% sharp, Things are, I don't know, like magical and fantastical, and I think the diffusive look and the and the colors and the earthy tones in some sections, and then the insane contrast in other sections, I think it sells it. I think it's fantastic. I really love the visual design of this game. So whatever.
I get where you're going.
Whatever, A4.
No, that when you said the 80s fantasy thing, that actually makes a lot of sense. I never really thought of it that way. That definitely, that's a good point.
What would you guys give it, though? Because I know you got differing opinions, but...
Gosh, those kids look terrible. I would give it a 10 if it weren't for the kids. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
Okay, see, one of the things about what A4 was saying, like, oh, it didn't age as well as, a super stylized one on the GameCube, and you're like, yeah, you're right, but they've done realistic before. They've done that on Ocarina, and they did that on Majora's. And those didn't age well either. So it is kind of like if you would have done this, it would have aged better. But you could say that about literally everything. If they had a very distinct style that wasn't graphically intensive, then of course it ages better. But I think this one, I'm probably going to agree with Joe more. I would give it an 8, but I do think it looks... There were times where I'm like, man, this game kind of looks like garbage. Like when I'm in caves and stuff. But then there's other times where I'm out like on the open world and I'm like, no, it actually looks really good for how old it is. Like, there's a few weird characters, but like the ones that aren't weird looking look really good. And
but also Zelda always has weird looking characters. Like, there's always weird looking characters in a Zelda game.
I was thinking about that once I kind of like thought about it, and it was like, okay, maybe it's just that they always had weird looking characters, and the grittier textures in this don't really fit those designs. But like, I don't really think Ocarina of Time had weird looking characters, to be honest. Like, the only other one I can think of that had really weird looking characters was like Skyward Sword. But that one kind of works a little better because it's going with like more of an impressionist Monet painterly style. That's like halfway between Twilight Princess and Cell Shading.
Every A4.
No.
I will listen to your opinion, but I do not respect it. Every
Ocarina, not weird looking characters.
Name one.
Fucking people. The dude that eats beans, bro. The dude that sells you the magic beans.
You mean that guy that's barely in the game?
The fucking fish people.
He looks weird as
They're supposed to look weird. They're fish. You ever seen a normal looking fish before?
The ladies with
God,
the
did you
giant
see the
noses.
queen in this game? Hell yes. A4.
Yeah, have you
Every
seen? Yeah,
Zelda
did you see the queen in Ocarina of Time? The one that wants to like marry you. You get to the adult thing, and she's got like titties, and it's just like, ooh.
Yeah, she doesn't look good though. So like, here's the thing.
No, not when you're.
There's weird characters in every Zelda game.
But not
Like,
this
think of-
weird. Not like
no,
we
you
made them
can't
look like
fucking
monsters
straight
weird. Not like they
You
were
can't
born in
fucking
like a
with a
fucking
straight
waste
face.
management dump weird.
You can't, dude. Like the dude, I just gave you a perfect example of someone, and your excuse was
The beans guy is barely a
for 5
character.
seconds. And it's like he's still in the game though.
The game is Ocarina of Time is not trying to make me care about the beans guy. It's trying to make me care about these weird little fucking kids.
Yeah, but you went back to him a lot because you needed beans to get into certain places, bro. You needed the bean stocks.
Yeah, but I wasn't like looking at him. Like they didn't try to make me care about him like they make me try to care about the fucking kids in this game. Where it's
It
like
doesn't
we gotta
matter.
go
There
rescue
was-
the kids, and I'm like that kid's
that's
got like
not
a
what we're
bowl cut.
saying.
I don't fucking care.
But we're
about him.
not. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that there's weird characters in every Zelda game. It's a fact.
All you have
It's a
is the
fact.
beans guy and like the fish.
There's more.
Dude, literally
Zelda
everybody in Ocarina
Yeah.
looks ridiculous.
That's fair.
Like what? Fucking the fish guy looks normal. The fisherman guy looks normal.
The fish dude looks normal.
Actually, no,
The
okay,
ones
hold
who
on,
just
no.
change the look of their head.
No, hold on. Okay, wait. Maybe hold on. The
Triangle
scientist.
tits.
The scientist. That's a graphical limitation. That doesn't fucking. count.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna say though that
they
yeah,
couldn't
that,
draw a sphere back then.
Yeah, well, not with fucking that many polygons, ass wipe. It's not like 2B's ass where it's got like 3 million fucking polygons in it, so it's like a perfect sphere to the human eye. No, but like I was thinking about the fucking like scientist guy at the lab at the lake in Ocarina of Time, and yeah, he looks like a fucking freakazoid. So maybe you got a point.
You can't. I mean, like honestly, man, you can't tell me from Majora's Mask that that Tinkle or whatever is a not weird design.
Tingle
He's
is
fucking. It's
the pinnacle
it's a
of
weird-
masculinity.
It's a weird design, bro. You can
Okay.
be mad about it.
Okay, you're right. Maybe the Zelda games always did have weird characters. I don't think the art style of this game particularly meshes well with the weird character designs. I'm just saying.
No, and you can have that opinion. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
But your logic at first for that opinion was fucking wrong.
Well, I don't know,
so that's
dude.
what we were coming into.
My point being is
just
like, as a
saying-
kid when I played Ocarina, I never saw those characters as fucking weird looking. Just because, like, it was so low poly,
You
I
have
guess it
a
didn't matter.
reference! Dude, you saw that game and you're like, oh my god, it's 3D.
Yeah, it was
This is
like...
different from everything that I played.
I
So
might
it
as well
doesn't
have
matter.
been in Hyrule when I played Ocarina of
Yeah,
Time.
when you're a kid, yeah, 100%, bro, 100%. So Majora's Mask when you're a kid. Like, it's looking at something that you're like, at the time, it looked good. It really did. But you can't, we don't let nostalgia mess with our scores.
I think the character designs in older Zelda games like Ocarina of Majora's Mask look better because of the low poly aesthetic than trying to make weird looking cartoony ass character designs in this game that have like super realistic textures
So-
where it's like I don't need to see the pores on
Okay,
this
so-
character's face. I just don't. I'm sorry.
So I'll take your Tingle and your Bean Salesman, and I'll raise you Hot Fazora Fish Queen and True Form Midna in return.
Both characters
Yeah.
show up for
Fish
a
Queen,
combined
solid.
total of 4 minutes, I think. So
I still came, so you know it's not.
look, all I'm saying
we're
is
not judging it on that. We're
all I'm
judging
saying
it
is
on-
when the best looking character in your game is Imp Midna, maybe the character design's the problem. I'm just saying.
I just think the developers were super horny in this game for like some fucking reason. Like there's just something going on.
I think they're horny in
Because,
every
like,
Zelda game, to be
The
honest.
designs were so different in this one. I mean, the way they draw, like, there's like the memes where it's like Zelda's butt in like Breath of the Wild. Like, they definitely like draw like things like that too. But, I don't know. I think I don't want you to like change your score or whatever. Like that's
I didn't
what
even
it
give
is.
my score yet.
Okay, well, keep it in your head. But I think that your logic to get there was flawed.
Okay, well, as someone who's played this series basically since the N64 days and wanted a gritty, realistic Zelda when this game was new,
Oh my god, we're in the presence of a master, guys.
Master
I want
beater.
you to know that. Yeah, we're in the presence
as
of a
the
master.
leading
Sensei, what
authority-
do you say?
as the leading authority on The Legend of Zelda, I think that this game has a lot of cool art direction that has like certain points in this game look amazing, and there's a lot of cool ideas in this game. And I think there's other times where I, like Schweiss, I look at this game and I go, "Wow, this looks like dog shit." I just don't think that this art style's aged all that well compared to some of the later and even earlier games in the series. I would give it a 7 for graphics and design. I really like a lot of stuff about it, but Mallow also exists in this game, so that's definitely docking some points.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna give it a 9. I think it looks great. I think it looks fine. Yeah. Also, fish tits. So I, it's what it is at this point.
God, that's making me hungry. I'm gonna go to the grocery store after this and go get me some fish tits.
Oh man, you go down to Long John Silver's and order some deep fried fish tits
with a straight face and like your camera in your pocket. Please, for the love of God, I need you to go to like Smith's and be like, "I'd like one pair of fish tits, please."
Fish tits, and then it'll be like, what?
It's Walmart. You don't know what you're
beer battered fish tits.
Keep them milky.
We're gonna find the fish tits.
Can you debone them for me, please?
Yeah. Speaking of debone, we got these. This is sorry tangent. I bought these like fillets.
Chopped off my dick.
Yeah, it's gone. Too much midna jacking. So we got these fish fillets that are like pre-done, like seasoned and stuff. And I was like reading the package because it's like, well, I want fast dinner sometimes. And I was reading the package and it was like, even though we tried to take all the bones out, there might still be bones. I'm like, what a fucking asshole! Like, I wish I could do that in my job. I wish I could sit there and be like, I really wanted to help you, but I got bored. And I'm not sorry, man.
That's not quite what it is. Their ribs are tiny. I don't know if you ever caught a fish and ate it.
No, I understand, but I just giggled at the, we really wanted to get all the bones, but we might not have, and I just thought it was so fucking funny.
I mean, it would be really funny if you bit into it. It was just a full rack of ribs.
Would have been fucking way funny. You're right. That's really funny.
Did Schweiss give a score?
He's muted, so I don't know. He's probably asleep.
Uh-oh.
Is he tucking children in?
That's not good. I thought he was tracking everybody's scores.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I got the scores. It was 8 for me, 7 for me, 4 9s from you guys.
Oh, okay. That's good, because the next category is music. What'd you think of the music, Schweiss?
I thought it was great in this game. I thought the little ditties were a good hit, like they always are in these Zelda games. The wolf stuff, it's a little bit tone deaf and kind of painful, but it's also hard because my really short-term memory is terrible. So doing those mini games was like a nightmare for me.
So I mean, the fact they got an actual wolf to sing the part was, really awesome on their part.
Yeah, it's a cool concept, but it sounds like shit. But I really like the music, like when the sun would come up or the night dusk would hit, and then you get that slowed down Temple of Time theme, for the night. I really liked it, and that was oh man, this is hitting. The visuals, the gameplay, the exploration, the music, it was all there. So I really like the soundtrack for this.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it as well.
Speaking of music, Schweiss, are you listening to Josh Groban in the background? What's going on there?
I don't know what's going on.
Okay. All right. What do you give it out of 10?
I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I don't think it's quite as epic as Ocarina, but I definitely think it's more iconic soundtrack wise than Majora's Mask. So I'd probably give it a 9. I really liked it, and the sound effects were all spot on. Everything is really good. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Josh Groban or Creed he's listening to.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I like the music a lot. I don't think there's a single Zelda game that I've played that has been a slouch on the music side of things. Definitely a lot of really hummable tracks.
What just happened to Joe's screen?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know if that was just me or not.
No, that's me too.
Oh, something wrong with my screen?
You're like totally pixelated, and it's like and now you're gone. Oh, you're coming back. Okay, you're good.
You're good now. I don't know. That was weird. Joe just went to the Twilight Realm for a second.
Yeah, Joe.
It is an audio podcast, so I guess my visuals don't matter that much. We can't even see Schweiss anymore.
Yeah.
And he's got Schweiss went to a Yellow Card concert, and he just decided to take his phone with him to do the rest of the episode.
People are watching fucking Yellow Card, and he's just like, really, Twilight Princess was fantastic.
How is Yellow Card and Josh Groban even remotely comparable?
I don't know. It just sounds like chick music in the background. Honestly, that's what it sounds like.
It's not chick music. How dare you, sir?
Oh, you're one of those.
It's probably
a normal guy.
We beat you up in high school.
We beat you up in high. Joe, you weren't beating up anyone. Shut up.
Good question. It was everybody.
It was what?
It was what?
It was everybody. Everybody beat him up in high school.
You beat up in high school, Joe.
Anyway, Yellow Card's great. The music in this game is really
I was like, I don't remember.
So anyway,
a car beat Craig up.
Yeah, the music's great. I don't have any problems with it. Even like the wolf stuff. I joked about it earlier. It really is just like, you're a fucking wolf trying to sing a song. It's like Caleb Schweiss trying to do like.
I kind of wish that would have been our opening.
It's like Caleb Schweiss trying to sing a song, or Caleb Craig trying to sing a song. You know,
I know seriously.
It's not going to be perfect.
I wish that would have been our cold opening. Would be Joe doing the wolf music. I think that'd have been that would have been the best fucking opening to this episode.
The cool thing about the wolf stuff too is that it's like a bunch of songs from Ocarina that have been like repurposed for that specifically.
Yeah.
And even when you blow in the whistle of the reed for the horse, it's just a bonus song. So there's a lot of good like legacy music hidden in here from previous games, at least like, you know, mostly Ocarina. But
when you say hidden, do you mean blatantly in the first part of the game?
Well, I mean, like they do good callbacks to music. Like when you're talking to Fish Tits, her ghost, it is the minuet of water or whatever the fuck it's called from Ocarina of Time. So like there's a lot of good touches like that in there, and even for this game's original music, there's a lot of really good use of leitmotif. Like you have Midna's Lament, which plays when like she's almost dead and you're like taking her to the castle, and it's like a minor key sad piano version of the main Twilight Princess theme. And you hear that main Twilight Princess theme like all over the fucking game as a good leitmotif. It's really well done. And then to contrast that, you have the music from like the actual Twilight Realm, which is like sort of weird electronic synthy kind of, again, very alien, very like almost Tron like. Really sort of like separating it from everything else in the game.
That's what I like the most about the Twilight Realm, or like when they like open portals and stuff. Like it was very jarring, and it's supposed to be, like I would assume, because it's like, oh, here's your normal music, and then something weird that's all fucking.
Even the sounds of the fucking enemies in the Twilight Realm, where like the weird bird things are making like a weird like a weird like cyber siren type sound.
Yeah,
like
all
the sound design in this is
like,
fucking top notch.
Yeah, they did a good job, honestly.
And it's not technically voice acting, but Midna having like that weird little like backwards chopped up speech or whatever the fuck, I forget how they did. I think they like had her say really things and they chopped it up around. But having that behind her talking really adds a lot to her character and sort of like making you think, oh man, what if they did this with every character in Zelda? That'd be sweet.
Then you would have Animal Crossing.
Well, no, you'd have that, or you'd have Banjo-Kazooie. But I mean, yeah.
The thing that like made me laugh a lot was when you were the wolf and Minnie was on your back and you started to run and she go, ah!
Oh yeah,
I was like, why is she
10 out of 10.
Smoking? Why? And it's like I would just start. I just started laughing because I did that and I had to stand up. My girlfriend was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Playing Twilight Princess." And I was like,
And every time you hit the dash button, she's like, oh! Like, I mean, you got to figure Link's a wolf, so he's probably got like a really thick, like rough coat, and I mean, like that's got to really agitate the clitoris. So I mean, she's like, with no saddle. So I mean, like, what are you gonna do?
It was just funny. Like it was just a funny.
Tell
like,
me what
little,
that's like, A4.
Well, you see.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see.
When you're
I have my wife ride on my back naked, and then I put like a shag carpet on my back to simulate.
You got back hair. Shut up, A4.
I have one chest hair. That is exactly it. I don't have a single hair on my back. I don't have any hair on my chest, on my back. I have way too much hair on my balls and dick and butt cracks.
I didn't need to know it.
Everywhere else, I'm like squeaky clean.
I want you to know I didn't need to know.
Well, you know what? You make the jokes, you get the answers you didn't want. That's how this works out.
I'm giving the sound and music a 10 out of 10. I thought it was fantastic.
I will echo that. I think that is a fantastic score for this. I would agree. 10 out of 10.
I was going to give it a 9, but playing through it again and like, oh, I remember this song. Oh, I remember this song. Oh, so you know what? Yeah, 10. Really good Zelda soundtrack. Definitely one of the top tier ones.
Replayability.
Dude, real quick, you doing the Cosby voice for just opened up the possibility of like fucking just Ganondorf with Bill Cosby's voice.
Why?
That'd have been awesome. I could have been rad. Dude.
Well, you see, when I control Zelda with my ghost, I can make her do things. I don't even have to drug her. I can just make her rubber clitoris.
No, that's the best part. Is that she'd be in the thing and it'd be like, there, bugger, the Quaaludes, and you put the Quaaludes in the potion, and you make them drink the potion, and you get the Master Sword, and you take it to the temple. You're like, what?
What do
and
you,
she's like
what
up in
do
there,
you
and she's
like
all
to
like,
play? I take my slingshot to the archery range. What, Pokemon? Anyway, replayability.
Replayability. Did Schweiss give it a score for sound?
I don't know.
Yeah, he did. I give it an 8.
Wow, lowballing it.
Or did he give?
Yeah, I gave it a 9.
Okay.
Replayability.
So replayability. What is
what some would say is the most important?
Yeah, some would say.
To paraphrase Schweiss.
Yeah, because he's not talking anymore. So, the replayability on this thing, it's a pretty linear game, but there's a whole lot of extra stuff to do, as there is in a bunch of Zelda games. You could probably upgrade your stuff. I don't know. There's a bunch of golden wolves. I know that.
Well, there's
the
wolves, there's
sword
bugs.
wasn't in this one, and that was sad.
There's heart pieces. There's a whole fishing mini game that I know we all
Wolves,
skipped.
bugs, postage.
Pose.
Oh, shit. Lots of pose.
Also, I don't know if the Wii version has hero mode, but the Wii U version does, which is basically just hard mode, where attacks from enemies do like double damage to you. So there's that. In lieu of like a master quest or whatever. But I
don't remember that in the Wii one.
I think there is enough there's a generous amount of side content that I could totally see someone having finished this going back to clean up. I mean, I'm going back to clean up all the side content because I just kind of want to, because it's just that fun. I've got like 50 pose out of 60. I got all the bugs. I got all the heart pieces. I have more than half of the stamps, I want to say, but that's not applicable to your version. And there's also the Cave of Ordeals. I don't even know if you guys did that. It's like a...
No, but I could have.
It's like a 50-floor dungeon. That's completely optional. And then for the Wii U version, if you have the Wolf Link amiibo, that unlocks like a completely different dungeon. That unlocks the biggest wallet if you already have the biggest wallet. So... yeah, there's a decent amount of stuff here.
There really is.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of stuff, but I do wonder, like, sometimes a lot of games, you just have extra stuff to have extra stuff, and then there's games that you have extra stuff so that you can do something really cool and have a lot of extra stuff, like a lot of really great things like great armor, great
There's
whatever.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's then things
So
and
I
they're
think
extra, and you have
so that
those.
you
You
can,
have
like,
extra stuff. And
sorry,
things.
I'm tired.
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you. I know. I'm sorry.
So the fact is that you have earned something in which now you can destroy the final boss. You know, like, or there's a secret final whatever, and you can restart the game with your shit and just like
It's like New Game Plus.
crank through it like a New Game Plus. That game doesn't really have any of that. This game doesn't really have any of that stuff, and it is in the time period in which that would have been starting to be a thing. So, and the game is, there was no extra hard mode that I was aware of in my version.
Yeah, it might just be
Maybe it might just be a Wii U thing. Anybody else can pipe in if they disagree, but
I don't think so. The only thing that I was seeing that I could do was the extra, like, the dungeons, but...
yeah. The thing is that the game is easy enough that there's not really a need to, like, beef up Link
well
to take on anything else.
The thing with the upgrades is like, I'm just thinking of just like,
but there is a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff, but with some of the upgrades, it's like, it's one of those games where the upgrades are almost meaningless. Like, I know if you get, you get the biggest wallet, you can get, at least in my version, you get 9,999 rupees. And if you get all the pose, you just get 200 rupees every time you talk to that guy's cat. And by that point, I've already bought everything in the game. I don't need rupees anymore, so who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of there to check
like,
off a checklist, I guess.
Badass armor. It makes me think of Majora's Masks. If you find all the masks in Majora's Mask, you get the like the
great fairy, the great deity
armor.
or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, that mask. That's like pretty dope.
Definitely not as good rewards in this one for 100% completion. And it really doesn't matter by the point you get them all. You've basically cleared the entire game.
Yeah, and I mean, what Joe's saying is accurate as well. It's really not a hard game. I mean, I probably got maybe 3 extra hearts or 4 extra hearts. So, like, and I beat everything, like, on the first try. So, I mean, there's not a lot of, like, yeah, he said this difficulty. I would say it doesn't really matter. Aesthetically, it'd be cool to have, like, a cooler armor. Like, if you can get, like, that fierce deity Link or whatever, that would be cool as for your final boss thing. But
no, you got to get the magic armor, which looks gay and is useless. So it's like,
but how big this game is, like, I am surprised that they didn't add more armor in, or that they didn't add the bigger on sword. Like, it doesn't. I don't know. Like, after having those, like, it makes it. I would think they would have more before you get the Master Sword, you know, or you could even upgrade the Master Sword.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame. I mean, I am replaying it, obviously, for this, and I'm probably going to go back and 100% everything else that I didn't, just because I don't have a lot left, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. But this also was the first time in almost 20 years that I felt any compulsion to go back and play this fucking game. So I don't think the replayability for me would be super high. Like, it's this game didn't take me as long this time as it did. The first time I remember it being like a clean 50 hours, like almost on the dot. And I don't know why, but for some reason this time it only took me like 29. I don't know how that happened, but when I think of like replaying a Zelda game, I usually default to like Ocarina because I know it in and out, and it's a pretty brisk game, all things considered, compared to this at least. So, or if I'm, if I want to replay a game with like way more replayability and options, it's going to be Breath of the Wild because, the non-linear way that game plays out means I could have a different experience every time, essentially. So yeah, I don't think replayability would be super high for me on this for this one, unfortunately.
I think it's a good game. Sorry.
Yeah. I think I'd probably give it like a 9 or no, an 8 on replayability. There's a lot of stuff to do, but I don't know. The story's not enough to bring me back by itself. And like it did a pretty good amount of the stuff as is, and I don't know. It is a good game though, so I'd go 9 personally.
I think it's a good concert. Yeah, I think it's a good game. It has a lot of extra stuff. My own personal interest is really low in replaying. I'll probably never play this game again. It was also really long, so it's not like it's like, oh, I get to enjoy Zelda again. It's like, no, there's like a gazillion dungeons in this one, and it's just really long. So personally, it's not going to be something I'm going to come back to. But I mean, there is a lot there, and it's no slouch in terms of extra stuff. It's just like, for me, is like that extra stuff worth it? And is the full campaign worth it again to play it again? Not anytime soon. So I'm gonna give it a. There is a lot of stuff that because there's a lot of stuff. Okay, I was leaning on a 7, but because there is so much shit you can do, and it is a good game, I'm gonna give it an 8. Although there's not even close to an 80% chance that I'm gonna replay this. That's how I used to score that category.
Okay. I think I'm going to give it a 6. Like, I like the game a lot. It was fun to revisit it for the first time, basically since launch. But once I 100% complete it again, I don't know when the fuck I'm going to pick up the Wii U version of this anytime soon. Maybe years down the road. Now that I know I can beat it in under 30 hours somehow, but. I don't know. At that point, I feel like I'm just going to play through Ocarina or something, or like Link to the Past again, or even Link's Awakening, because that's a nice brisk little game. So yeah, I guess it's 6.
Was it better for you this time around than you thought it was going to be? Because you were
yes, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like I forgot. I was telling Zach, I forgot how much I actually really do kind of like this game.
Kinda.
No, I mean, I do like this game. Like, I'm hard on it because when I think back to it, it is just so very specific in, like, the point in time that it came out. And, like, again, like, even the Zelda games before and after it, like, I don't know. I look at this game and I get bored just because it's so brown. But, like, when I think of, like, Wind Waker or even Skyward Sword, because Skyward Sword at least has the gimmick of, like, the Wii remote motion and, like, way more saturated kind of, like, painterly art style. I also haven't played fucking Skyward Sword since launch, so there's that. But I don't know, man. Like, I played this again, and it made me realize, like, yeah, this game still fucks pretty hard, and I like it a lot. It's just I don't know when I'm going to play it again after this.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm looking at the wiki for this game. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Game of the Year awards.
It was a big deal.
Publications.
Well, this was also super highly anticipated. Like, again, when Nintendo put out like a trailer in like 2000 from Space World, where it was basically just Ocarina of Time Link and Ocarina of Time Ganon, but way higher quality models having a sword fight, everyone thought like, oh, we're gonna get another Zelda like Ocarina of Time next. And then they revealed Wind Waker, and everyone was like, what the fuck is this? So this was sort of like. This game was sort of like a reaction to like, okay, they want a realistic, gritty Zelda. So like, you ever watch that fucking 2004 E3 reveal trailer for The Legend of Zelda? It's like, it still gives me shivers because the audience is just going ape shit. They're like, oh my God, they're doing it. And it's so fun. And like, that trailer is fucking amazing because it's showing all the shit where like Link's like stabbing down with that move and like reflecting projectiles with the shield, and it's like, this is what we all wanted, and then we got it, and it's good, but it's just like, yeah, again, the further away I get from Twilight Princess, the more I'm like, it's good, but I'm like not dying to play it again. That's the thing.
It's really interesting because I remember. And we discussed this when this became one of the games that we were going to play. That was because this is Zach's, of course, last hurrah.
Yeah.
A last hurrah.
Yeah. When I just remember back then, Twilight Princess was so beloved, like within like the 2 years post-release, that it was seen as like the third best for the fan base at the time. I remember it seemed to be a consensus. Seemed to be. Just my worldview, people I knew, chit-chat, internet at the time. It seemed to be like the third favorite Zelda. It was like, Ocarina of Time was number 1 for most people. Then it was Link to the Past. And then it was Twilight Princess. And then all the other Zeldas were down from there. And it's so interesting. It's like I blinked And then we had a conversation on the podcast, and I was made aware that Twilight Princess is not as beloved as it used to be. It's hardly ever mentioned anymore by people. And now, like, Wind Waker, which was seen as like no one liked it back then, is now seen as like, oh, it was the underrated classic. And now that one's kind of like making its way up in the world, which was funny because for me, I had borrowed Wind Waker when I was in high school, you know, a few years after this game came out, maybe 2 years after this game came out. So it was still it was still shining its diffusive shine. And I remember really liking Wind Waker. And people would bitch about Wind Waker with the boating stuff in between the islands, which was interesting. I never really thought that was that bad. Yeah, it's interesting how the favor kind of fell in this game. But I mean, I played it, and I still thought it was. I thought it was honestly, it's probably of the Zeldas that I've played, and especially of the ones that I've beaten. It's probably my favorite. I love the original Zelda, like the very original one. I think that game's a lot of fun. But this one, I think, is like, it's definitely more my thing. I think, and I think it's a wonderful game.
Real playability, I'm gonna give a 7, just so we can get that out of there.
Okay, thank you. Schweiss isn't here to record it. He disappeared. So just remember your replayability score.
Yeah, no, for sure, I got you.
I gotta remember all my scores, I guess.
I like this game a lot. I really did enjoy it. I'm glad it got voted for my last hurrah thing, because I've always wanted to play this game and I don't know why I haven't.
I did too.
But one of the things that this game has done for me is, as a whole, I would like to go through and play like all the Zelda games that I can get. Like, it's made me want to go and I think I was telling you guys in the chat last week, 2 weeks ago, that like after the podcast is like done and we beat the games that we need to beat, I'm gonna go find a GameCube and I'm gonna pay the money for the older games, and I'm gonna just add it to my collection, and I'm gonna add Wind Waker and, you know, those other two. There's three, right? It's Wind Waker, Spirit Tracks, and another one, right?
Phantom Hourglass.
There's more than
Phantom Hourglass. Really?
Well, there's Skyward Sword. There's
no, but I mean, like, for those three. Sorry, for like those three with that art style, it's just those three.
Oh, there's also
Correct.
Minish Cap on the GBA.
Okay, so Minish Cap.
And
but
there's
like,
Four Swords,
I mean, like,
but that's its own weird thing.
Skyward Sword I can get on Switch now, and that's not a big deal.
Uh-huh.
And then there's another Legend of Zelda you can get on Switch, on the chibi one. So like, and then like with, you know, the
Link's Awakening, the remake, yeah.
Link's Awakening you can get on there, and then like you have like, you know, the older systems like you can get on the Switch. So like you have, you know, like you can play some of those games like on that. So it's not hard to get. But I mean, like for GameCube itself, like I want to get those three.
Well, yeah, if you're looking for like that specific Toon Link lineage, it's basically just Wind Waker, Minish Cap, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks.
Okay, so like those
you probably don't have to play Triforce Heroes for the 3DS or like Four Swords Adventures on the GameCube. But like, yeah, you know.
Well, I mean, like for funsies, you know what I mean? Like for that, and it's like it'd be things that like I would like to like branch out.
Yeah.
Or it's like I'm looking at other Wii games now too. That's like, oh, like I wanted this as a kid but didn't ever get it because I didn't have the money to buy the game, even though we had a Wii. So it's like maybe I want this now as an adult.
Fuck you, Mom! I'm gonna play Excite Truck and you can't stop me.
Yeah. I'm gonna play Leisure Suit Larry.
Was there a Leisure Suit Larry on the Wii?
No, I'm just kidding. I was just being...
Okay, I was gonna say, because like Magna Cum Laude was on like PS2
Xbox,
Xbox
right?
or something, yeah. Yeah. Like, just echoing Joe's thing real quick. When this game came out, and a few years after, it was probably still my favorite Zelda. And I think time just sort of eroded and made me realize, again, it was the exact same thing Joe said, where like the more I got away from this game and the more I realized like maybe Wind Waker was actually like the underrated one. And you know, as a kid I just have like this undying nostalgia for Ocarina of Time, so that is probably never going away. But yeah, I don't know. I did really enjoy playing this again, basically for the first time since it came out. And I don't regret it for a second. I don't regret spending like $100 on the Wii U version.
What were your guys' score for replayability?
I had a 7.
6.
And I had an 8 somehow above you guys, which is crazy. I expected something else. And Caleb, do you remember if Caleb gave one before he disappeared into the ether?
I don't.
You want to message him on the Facebook chat?
Maybe
No, he said, no, I think he said a 7.
I think he said 8. Did he? I thought he said 8. 8 or it was high.
He said 9 for music. I don't know if he said 8
I
for...
said, because A4 said 6, I said 7.
I just remember him being like, fuck. Oh, well, try to wait. I guess we'll just stall.
Well, no, let me message the fucking...
It's the one fucking score that we have missing here. Otherwise, I could add these things up. Anyway, do you guys have any good stories you want to share with the group? I think it'll still be another couple weeks before we do the next episode, just because of Caleb Schweiss's work stuff.
Oh yeah, because he's working during the week, huh?
Yeah.
Well, what are the scores minus Caleb Schweiss's? Because we're almost 3 hours into this episode.
Let's see here. Divided by fear? No, that doesn't make sense. Okay. Well, the Excel sheet's not right. So give me a minute. Okay. What was the most interesting thing that happened to you, A4, in the last 3 weeks?
I bought a guitar, I guess. I don't know. I got those calluses on my damn fingers. I'm learning how to play the old power chords, the old Blitzkrieg bop. You know, it's one hand thing the whole way through. I know how to play the riff from Dance Macabre by Ghost. I have to tune my guitar down to D to do it, but I can do it. I was going to send you guys the video to piss you off, but I didn't.
They wouldn't have remembered it.
They wouldn't have remembered it. They would have fallen asleep right where they were, right on the road, while playing Xenogears, driving with the cruise control down the Highway 17 or 45 or whatever the fuck interstates in Utah. The wonderful state. The state
For a guy who doesn't shut the fuck up, I give you one moment where you get the opportunity to talk without anyone interrupting, and you can't think of anything to say.
I'm tired
Until someone else is talking before you can actually.
I bounce off of other people.
20-minute monologue.
I bounce off other people. I need to bounce off other people. I'm a very uninteresting person.
That's not the autism A4 has. His is different.
Yeah, no, if you want me to talk nonstop with my autism. So there's a Sega Saturn fighting game called Fighting Vipers, and in that game is a character named Honey, and she's like a girl that wears like an idol dress. And so when they made Sonic the Fighters, which was the Sonic fighting game for the arcades in the Sega Saturn, they actually made Honey Sonic character called Honey the Cat, and she's a secret unlockable character who has since, through memes and other such things, basically transcended to become her own character outside of that game. She's in like the comics and stuff. And did you add up the scores yet?
I thought you actually had a point.
The point was that there's a character named Honey the Cat, and she's from a fighting game where you can play as the fucking car from Daytona, USA.
All right. So the scores are as follow, with me guessing that Caleb Schweiss's replayability score is a 7. I think that's what he said, but my brain is like playing tricks on me right now.
It could definitely
He never
be.
said anything.
You let me talk. That's definitely the worst.
Okay. So for story, A4 gave it an 8. I gave it an 8. Caleb gave it an 8. And Zach gave it a 9. For gameplay, A4 gave it a 9. Oh, excuse me. All of us gave it a 9. For sound and music, A4 gave it a 10. I gave it a 10. Caleb gave it a 9. Zach gave it a 10. For graphics and design, or art and graphics, we got to stop with the design stuff. That turned out to be the wrong thing. Art and graphics.
Visuals.
Yeah, visuals. Why didn't you? Why? Thank you, A4. Why weren't you there in 2016 when we started this show? For visuals, A4 gave it a 7. I gave it a 9. Caleb gave it an 8, and Zach gave it a 9.
Yeah.
For replayability, one of these scores might be wrong. A4 gave it a 6. I gave it an 8. Caleb gave it a 7, I think, and Zach gave it a 7. So the totals are A4, 40 out of 50. I gave it a 44 out of 50. Caleb gave it a 41, I think, out of 50. And Zach gave it a 44 out of 50. For a total of 169 out of 200. Or averaged out and rounded down, because we don't round up on Nude Clan, 84 out of 100 is the Nude Clan semi-official score, depending on if Schweiss just suddenly bursts into this room or not.
So the Metacritic scores for the GameCube version's a 96, for the Wii version it's a 95, and for the Wii U version it's an 86.
So we're
closer to like the modern interpretation.
Yeah, that's the modern score. You're right. We're pretty close to that one. Actually, a little lower because of A4 being a dick.
I thought for some reason this was one of those games that Famitsu gave a perfect score. It is not. Not that that means anything, because they gave Final Fantasy 13 a perfect score, so what the fuck do they know? But
did they give it I thought they gave it a 39 out of 40.
I thought it was a perfect. Hold on.
No, they've given perfect scores to ones where you're like scratching your head, but I don't think that was one of them. But whatever. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Twilight Princess, that's our review. That is Zach's last hurrah. The next game on the list.
So now I'm done. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah. The next game on the list is Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne Turn 5 6 7 Demon Penis 8.
So here's the funny thing. Zelda games that have gotten a perfect score from Famitsu: Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and then we skipped Twilight Princess, but for some reason Skyward Sword got one. And then obviously, Breath of the Wild got one.
Well, I remember Skyward Sword is the one I saw perfect scores from everywhere, from the critics. And then I would talk to people, at school. I guess I was like senior year or something. And it was like, yeah, there was a lot of disappointed people. And it was so confusing to me. I was like, well, the critics are so enraged. And then, I saw a Zelda retrospective or something to get ready for Ocarina of Time, and the person on there was like, or maybe it was a ranking of the Zelda games. The person on there was like, critically praised, but the fans didn't like it. Was basically like the Skyward Sword idea. So it's interesting.
Skyward Sword's not well liked even today, but I mean,
so you saying perfect score on Famitsu, but you hate it, and like a lot of... It's not
that I hate it, it's just like...
Zelda
I would even
lovers
put
don't love
Twilight Princess above Skyward Sword, to be honest.
Right. And considering how much you trashed Twilight Princess, that sounds like you probably don't...
I like Twilight Princess, I'm just kind of indifferent towards it.
The Zelda games, like the main Zelda games, it seems like that one is not beloved.
No, not a lot at all. No, I gotta rank the Zelda games at some point. Also, no, 13 did not get a perfect score. 13-2 did. Also, 12 did.
Interesting.
Also, perfect score. Nintendo.
Neither of those deserve perfect scores.
Nintendo's got a perfect score, and one that'll piss you off, Joe. Vagrant Story got a perfect score. So
I like Vagrant Story. What do you mean it pisses me off?
I just thought because the final boss.
The final boss is one of the worst.
Yeah.
Such an asshole. You basically have to learn a whole new game in order to beat that guy.
They also gave a perfect score to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, and that game is dog shit. So I don't know why the fuck that got a perfect score. Cool.
They were positive. They were in a positive mindset that day, bro.
No, they're Japanese, so they just automatically really like JoJo, even though the game is fucking terrible. Yeah. So there you go. Twilight Princess did not get a perfect score. Got close, but...
Dang, I wanted to talk about my Mexican trip, but if Caleb's not here, I just feel like it's not right. It's not right. I got to tell him about it. Anybody else have anything they want to share before we move on with this?
Live always in the nude.
Walk with your imp pornography held high.
Support us on Patreon and links in the description of this episode.
Yes, please. While we
Please.
play music on the sinking ship called the Titanic. Come to our Patreon, as Ernest.
I mean, yeah, come
Playing
support us on
Ernest Savior.
Patreon. For all those who don't, fuck off.